services rushed to the scene, but tragically the young man couldn't be saved. Police have now confirmed that one man and one woman, Gavin and Andrea Train, have been charged with murder. They're both due to appear at Newcastle Magistrates Court today. Israel has been moving its tanks towards the centre of Khan Yunis in the south of Gaza. House-to-house fighting has also been reported in the city. Most of the population has now fled to coastal areas or towards Rafah, further south. The Gaza director of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, Tom White, is based in Rafah and says the civilian population desperately needs a ceasefire.
I was in the distribution centre yesterday. All you could hear was airstrikes going into the city around the distribution centre. So the Israeli army are telling people to go to Rafah. Rafah is now, normally has a population of around 280,000 people. There are well over 1 million people in the area that the Israeli army are telling people it's safe.
The oil producers organisation OPEC has come in for heavy criticism at the COP climate negotiations in Dubai. A letter has been leaked from the head of OPEC calling on members to resist any reference to phasing out fossil fuels in the talks' final communique. With more, here's Paul Moss.
It appears to be an unashamed pushback against the efforts of climate negotiators. Haytham Al-Khaisi, Secretary General of OPEC, complained in a letter that there was undue and disproportionate pressure on fossil fuels.
Good evening. Good hello. Sandro, how are you doing?
Any talk of phasing fossil fuels out, warning this could harm livelihoods. But a delegate from the Marshall Islands in the Pacific insisted it was the burning of these fuels which risked world prosperity.
Today, the summit is considering how to protect the world's oceans. Over 100 organisations have already backed a call for more investments into research. People in Sunderland are being asked for their views as the City Council prepares for the financial year ahead. The council budget this year came to nearly £760 million. However, it's now facing a funding gap of around £17 million for the next financial year. An online consultation will begin in January, where people will be asked for their thoughts on suggested changes to services. Some of the world's best pool players are in Durham for the weekend for a new competition. The King of Kits is the first ever English 8-ball pool tournament of its kind. It's being held at Kit's Pool Bar in Durham. And South Shield's own Wade the Blade Morley will be there. He's the former world doubles champion. He told us how he got started in the sport.
When I first started playing properly, I built a shed in my back garden at the start of lockdown actually, and I was playing 3 or 4 hours a day. And I think that was the key to success, of actually becoming a professional and playing well.
Josh Maja returns to the Stadium of Light this lunchtime with West Bromwich Albion, his first return to Sunderland since he left the club in January 2019. Sunderland's interim head coach Mike Dodds says that they are aware of him.
So we've discussed him, but ultimately what I said to the players from Wednesday onwards, we don't discuss the opposition, we're completely focused on us. So we focus on us in terms of how we stop the opposition, we focus on us how we hurt the opposition.
Just you can hope you can hear me all right.
And we've got
out there
with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett on BBC Radio Newcastle with the build-up from 12 and kick-off at 12:30. And today's FA Trophy tie between Gateshead and Rochdale has been postponed following a pitch inspection this morning. The game will now be played on Tuesday, December 12th with a 7:45 p.m. kick-off.
Just you can
the weather for the
hope you can
northeast
hear me
increasingly
all right.
windy today with outbreaks of showery rain,
there?
mainly light though, with highs of 8 degrees. That's your BBC Radio Newcastle news. For an update anytime, you can always ask your smart speaker to play your BBC News for the northeast.
Total Sport Northeast.
The sound of
Sunderland.
Ahmad into the penalty area, still going on his left. Unbelievable! He's a little magician. Clark's still got the ball, edge of the area, right foot. It's 3-0 and Jack Clark has curled it into the bottom corner.
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Very good afternoon, welcome to the very wet Stadium of Light. The forecast is for heavy rain for the next hour or two. It will ease off over the afternoon, but it is wet and it is soggy. The Sunderland team, Patterson in goal, Hume, Ballard, O'Nien and Huggins. We assume that the right back and full back will be those two. Hume right back, Huggins left back, but we'll wait and see. Neil and Ekwa in the middle. Roberts, Aushish, Clark and Jobe up front. The benches: Bishop, Burstow, Rusin, Barr, Pritchard, Sealt, Triantis, Stack and Mienda. We'll get the reaction of Benno to that team in just a second. We'll be talking the derby in a few minutes with Rob Mason, Sunderland's club historian. it's on everybody's lips. The build-up began this week, I think, by the reaction of...
All right, Mike, how are you doing, fella?
It's just another game. Just another game. What about this game, Benno? What about this game this afternoon against the West Brom team who've made 4 changes, and surprise, surprise, Josh Madger comes in up front.
Yeah.
So what's the bets on Josh Madger scoring today then?
We all know what Josh Madger is about, especially in that 18-yard box. That's where he comes alive. You know, and obviously we can go back over the argument. Should we have sold him or kept hold of him? Would we have benefited by keeping hold of him? Who knows? That's the past now. What we've got to look at is that, yes, we've got to make sure we keep an eye on him, but we are playing at home. I know what's happened this week in regards of Tony Mowbray, but these things happen. You know, it's not going to be, it's not the first time, it's not going to be the last time where managers come and go. That's football.
Ah, that's good to hear. That is good to hear.
Always be here.
Indeed, it is what it is.
Yes.
I think someone we know who's now departed would have said.
Of course, yesterday's results, Coventry 2, Birmingham 0. Coventry picked up 3 points. Birmingham having a treacherous time, aren't they?
We'll hear from Melray because they've got a big FA Cup game themselves this weekend against Durham.
It seems to be, at the minute, that we're always kicking off at 12:30 on a Saturday. They're a pain in the backside, Sky. Formation, I will let you know. Give us 2 ticks.
To my right, and I'll also mention Macca and Michael. He asked me if I give them a mention. They're on the way to Livingston versus Hibs this afternoon. It's Macca's 30th game of the season. This is our 20th. Rob, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I mentioned the derby. Everyone's talking about the derby. It's been a talking point. And I'm just going to sort of ask for your thoughts ahead of the game. You're looking forward to it?
Well, of course I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. But I've also got some perspective that there's a lot of league points to play for between now and the derby. So, you know, I'll be really interested in the derby.
Your app's not working in Australia for some reason.
When the derby becomes the next game. But looking ahead to it, yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's the first FA Cup derby in my lifetime, though, you know, there's been League Cup derbies. And yeah, fantastic. We should really relish it. Really look forward to it. You know, it's a home draw. It's a home draw. Obviously, Newcastle.
Don't think it's come out yet, the formation.
A team doing well in the Premier League with endless, vast amounts of money to buy whoever they want to buy, it seems. Whereas Sunderland are a team who, at the moment, are mid-table in the Championship. So, you know, looking on paper, Newcastle should be hot favourites. And if we were playing them on paper, I would expect Newcastle to win. But as we're playing them on grass and as it's the FA Cup, I would say to anybody who's of black and white persuasion, don't take anything for granted. You come at the stadium alive.
Any particular memories, as you say? Look, you've been
talking about the Newcastle game, aren't they?
Well, yeah, there have been some crackers.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've basically seen every derby since about 1970. Yeah, plenty of.
Got the old team line up there.
In terms of the FA Cup, as we know, the last FA Cup meeting was in 55.
It'd be nice to see some sort of attacking formation, Mike, I tell you.
FA Cup record through the 50s. They'd won the FA Cup in 1955 by winning their semi-final.
Don't know if you guys can see that.
In a replay against York City. Had Sunderland not lost their own semi-final that year, it would have been a Sunderland-Newcastle final at Wembley. Sadly, it wasn't. But the following season, when Newcastle were drawn at home to Sunderland in the quarter-final of the FA Cup as holders, again, they were the hottest of hot favourites. They'd already done the double over Sunderland in the league. Their win at Roker Park was their record ever win at Sunderland. They were the hottest of hot favourites. And guess what? Sunderland won 2-0. You know, so that was a famous.
That's not showing up very clear. We've got Patterson in goal, Huggins and Ballard, O'Neill captain, Hume, Neil, Ekwa, who's been underperforming, Roberts, Ashish, Clark and Joe Bellingham. I'd like to see Joe get involved today. He's been such an non-existent these last few matches. And the substitutions, we've got Bishop, Burstow, Russian, Barr, Pritchard, Sealed, Triantis, Dak and Mayenda. Surprised there's no Rig, but yet again, Rig was involved in the under-18s win against Manchester City, so they're probably resting the lad. I don't know what's up with Pritchard. I don't know. I really just don't know about that.
There's nobody really. That's not something I've looked at, but there's been such a
absolutely puzzled on that one.
That we've got who've been at the club a long time, are players who, you know, would have just been, you know, coming through the academy and the early age groups of the academy at that time. You know, if you think the likes of Anthony Patterson, for instance, or Dan Neil. But Anthony Patterson and Dan Neil, and indeed Chris Rigg, are locally born players who will know exactly what everything's involved in terms of the derby match and what it means. And for players on both sides who might have even played in big derbies elsewhere, you know, when they come into the Sunderland versus Newcastle derby, they'll realise that it has its own special flavour, its own special significance that in many ways outweighs some of the other big derbies they might have played in.
You looking forward to it, Benno?
I am, especially if you win.
Yeah.
You get the bragging rights, but you know, as Rob's just mentioned, you know, you've been involved in derby games, and you've got to put obviously the North East derby as really near the top because it's special. As we've just mentioned, we're talking about it now. The game's not
He's such an underrated player. He's good for the side, great for morale and experience. But for some strange reason, he's just not getting a look in, is he?
We know that amongst families, it's a split. Amongst friends, it's a split. And it does cause, shall we say, debate. That's a nice word to use.
Yeah.
But it can get out of hand in regards of whoever wins.
It's interesting because you and I were travelling back on the train from London after the Millwall game when the draw was made, and I looked at it when someone texted me and I thought, this can't be, that someone's taken the mick. Eddie Howe said exactly the same. What were the odds? I mean, I don't know what the odds are. Pridey probably know better than I do in terms of sport, but of that draw being made. It's
well, again,
as Rob said, the last time 56.
It'd be interesting to see. We've got the two women's team who's playing in the FA Cup tomorrow.
Could,
so
yeah.
what happens if them two draw each other as well? But you know, just going on, you know, obviously whoever is manager of Sunderland, and I know Eddie Howe has mentioned a little bit about obviously the derby game and, you know, deal with it when it comes round. He will not, mark my words, have sampled that sort of atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Different. It's a different. It's a different because there hasn't been. It's a different pressure. It's a different pressure.
Yeah.
It's a different pressure altogether.
I think really all the pressure in this game is genuinely on Newcastle because, as I say, you know, they're a team who is still in the Champions League, who, despite their result the other night, are going very well in the Premier League. We know they're missing a lot of players. Some of those players will be fit again by the derby. Sunderland, of course, are missing just as many players. One or two of our players might be fit again by the derby. Who knows? But regardless of all of that, given Sunderland's position in the league and Newcastle's position in the league, Newcastle really have to come and win. And if they do come and win, well, it's what everybody in the country will expect. But if they don't come and win, well, then it will be a massive talking point for years afterwards, because it will be an upset. And Sunderland, all Sunderland can do is go out, give it their best shot. They'll have the crowd behind them. You know, they'll have a lot of players there ready to show what they can do against Premier League teams. And we've got home advantage, so who knows? Let's bring it on. But as I say, a lot of league points to play for between now and then.
Right, moving on. Today's game. Here's a.
Hello, Bristolian Mackham. How are you doing? I know it's unrealistic, but I'd like to see Ruud van Nistelrooy take over. It's a good shout. He's certainly got an experienced head on his shoulders as a player.
It's just that just irks me.
So, I don't know about a manager-wise, but the rubbish we've had over the past. Mike Cassap asks, so Cabby, who do you think should be Sunderland manager? I think basically they're going to go for an Eastern European manager, a youngish manager, to sort of match the setup of Sunderland AFC with a young squad. I think that's what they're going to do. I've mentioned the Swedish manager, etc. I think that's who they're going to go for. Done well at PSV, he did, yeah. But there's not really that much to choose for. I mean, some of the things I've been mentioned with, like, you know, Neil Warnock and that, he's past it. He's getting on, and Lampard, Rooney, no. You've got to just totally stay away from my lad.
We've only just brought the new supplement out, which is, you know, the book is called The Absolute Record, The Players. And
as you know, Sunderland's a fluid project.
Absolutely. We've brought just, you know, mentioning that book, The Absolute Record.
In Sky at the moment, they're highlighting Joe Bellingham, and at the minute I don't know why, because there's no highlights. He's done absolutely nout. Not these last few games, not a thing, but we don't know whether or not that's because he's being played out of position under Mowbray. Who knows? 10 and watching already. If you can click that thumbs up, thank you. And if anybody new, just click the subscribe button. Thank you very much indeed.
Indeed.
Who knows who that might be?
Exactly. In inverted commas, ongoing process.
Absolutely, as it always is. There's never a dull moment in any football club, and least of all at Sunderland.
No. It's funny when you get the visiting press and whoever's coming to cover, they always come and they say, first thing they say to me, it's never dull here, is it?
No.
I only say rude because he's proven himself and he had struggled scoring and got through and could help our strikers. Well, I have seen his name mentioned a couple of times. But I've got a funny feeling he'll fetch somebody in that we've never heard of and we're going like, who?
You've never seen it. And he was talking about both Sunderland and Newcastle in that quote, and he was absolutely right.
That's what makes the North East special, doesn't it? Because there's always something to talk about every single week. You know, we had Jordan Pickford scenario. You know, we was talking about that. So it's never a dull moment. You know, this weekend we'll have something to talk about, and it will be around football.
Yeah, lifeblood. It's the lifeblood. Rob, thank you very much
Cheers,
indeed.
thanks very much.
We'll chat with Rob. I don't know when we'll chat with you.
Yeah,
next
the
weekend.
Coventry game. I'll see you on Tuesday night, isn't it? When we play Leeds
game.
But not speaking to you on air, but I'll talk to you in person at the Coventry game.
Yeah, we'll see you in the flesh.
Next week,
we might talk to you on that thing called the telephone from Bristol City.
Yeah, well, let's hope when we're speaking from Bristol City, we've had 2 good home results, because
whole generation doesn't.
For all the talk about the derby,
SAFC Ted, hello. 6-0 Sunderland. I tell you what, I'll take it on that one. I think we all know it's still Sable or Hellberg. Yeah, that's what I do think as well.
You've got me lost there. Telephone. What is it?
We'll update listeners to the wireless. Thank you, Rob. Wireless? What's a wireless?
What's a wireless?
Anyway,
what's a telephone?
The team this afternoon. Patterson in goal. Hume, Ballard, O'Nien and Huggins. Neil, Ekwa, Roberts, Aushish, Clark and Jobs. The two changes on the team that played at Millwall last weekend. The benches: Bishop, Burstow, Rustin, Barr, Pritchard, Sealt, Triantis, Stack and Mienda. West Bromwich Albion, Palmer in goal, back four of Furlong, Kipre, Bartley and Townsend. Malumbi comes in for the suspended Yakozlu, Mowat, Diangana, Sarmiento, Swift, Josh Madger up front. Big FA Cup weekend for Durham women, for Sunderland women and Durham women, and they are Sunderland women at home to Durham Sestria tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock at Eppleton. I've been talking to the Sunderland women's head coach, Mel Ray.
Mel, firstly, the international break, which seems to have gone on forever. I mean, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for you.
Yeah, it certainly feels long when you haven't played for 2 weeks. I think the first weekend was scheduled as a postponement weekend for anyone to catch up, but no teams really caught up, so I'm not really sure what the point of the weekend was. But yeah, we've used it as a bit of a chance to kind of reset and, you know, rest up and try and get people back on the pitch. And obviously the international players have been away. They're all reporting back today, so we'll see how they are.
Katie Kitchen's coming from Colombia, so I mean, it certainly has been an international break for some.
Yeah, obviously delighted for her. You know, we signed her from London City, where New Zealand knew she was at, but you know, she didn't get much game time, so never really got the call up. So, you know, from a personal point of view for her, you know, delighted to see her get called up, and a huge reward for her performances that she's done for us. She's been a great signing. She made a big impact, and probably the cherry on the cake for her to go and represent New Zealand in Colombia.
I mean, and there's been plenty of involvement with others, Mary and so on. They've all been getting games. It's good for you, isn't it? I mean, it's good for your profile.
Yeah, you know, Mary's such a young player as well, 19-year-old, you know, playing just being in and around the senior environment at international level. She'll be learning all the time, and hopefully she can use that experience when she comes back and represents, you know, Sunderland. And
in terms of the league, you're joint top. You had that great momentum, the Charlton game, and now it's sort of, as you say, you've had this sort of break. Momentum, I mean, we always talk about it in football. Has it broken that momentum?
Hey, Cabby's it raining there? It's been horrible.
It's probably broken it, but it's broken it for everyone. So I think
hey, Jacob, lad.
Infield again, and it's up to us to try and get that momentum back quickly.
I'm live on my channel if you want to pop in, fella.
3 games in terms of the league. But you know, we're certainly taking the FA Cup seriously as well.
Yeah.
FA Cup.
Yeah, I'm on my YouTube channel. If pop in, if you're welcome to pop in.
Last season in their league, so that you know.
Oh dear me.
But it's the FA Cup. I mean, I don't know what your memories of the FA Cup are as a player.
I remember missing a penalty for Sunderland against Tranmere in the 5th round. It's probably still going now. It went right over the bar. But yeah.
I was pleased. It was becoming it was becoming very stale. And I just think it had to happen. I just think we were sliding down the table. I think Mowbray was running out of a plan B, plan C, plan D. We were becoming very stale. And I think he reached his apogee. He got us as high as he could go, and I think we were starting to sink down that table. And I think it was a good decision by the owners. Like, not against Tony Mowbray, but it's a results business, and the results were just. Look, losing against Plymouth and losing against Huddersfield, not picking up 3 points against Millwall. That's 3 teams we've played in the real bottom half of the table. That's not good enough, mate.
Yeah, well, we need to make sure it's on first, but I think as long as the temperatures don't drop, I think it's got a good chance. The pitch is a good drainer, so you know, we'll do as much as we can to get the game on because we want to.
It was.
And have you taken stock of the first half of the season, because that's what it was really, and still looking back at it and thinking, is that
yeah, absolutely. I just hope it's decent, but we'll probably get someone that we've never heard of, mate. To be honest with you.
Give the analyst a little bit of a task to come up with a presentation to deliver to the players about what we've done well and what we need to be better at. Loads of stats, loads of data.
I hope I'm wrong there, but I can't see us. Hello, Yorkshire Mackham says 2-1 defeat. I can't see us getting anything today, like, and I think Madger will score today. I mean, you can put a bet in a packet of crisps on that happening.
If we want to be up there come the end of April, then we know exactly what we need to do. So, like you say, it's about consistency, but the players are well aware where we need to improve in order to stay up there.
Total Sport Northeast.
On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary.
Jacob SCFC says you.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Oh, they're lovely.
Mel Ray looking ahead to Sunderland Women's FA Cup tie
Absolutely
tomorrow
lovely.
This afternoon, 12:30 kick-off. Sunderland, West Bromwich Albion. Mike Dodds, interim head coach. I caught up with him yesterday.
Mike, you've referred to it a few times, and
absolutely, the vinegar sandwiches all around.
To that period when you were in charge of the Doncaster and Cheltenham games.
So did you guys?
The Cheltenham game in particular was brutal.
He was brilliant. He was superb for us. We just screwed up. Didn't keep him.
You were right to say the context was very different to the context now. What do you think you learned from that experience? Clearly,
I know.
You remember it well. It's something that's.
Got a good day from Perth, Western Australia, from Keith. Where's Chris Rigg? I think Chris Rigg's getting rested because he was featured in the under-18s just a few days ago when they won 3-1 against Man City. So, being a young lad as he is, I think they'll be giving him a rest. That's what I think, anyway.
The reality was I hadn't even had a conversation with most of the players, and you get thrusted into this opportunity.
Hi.
And I was naive around some of the decisions.
Did you guys do a show for the when Tony Mowbray got sacked?
Since that point, like I've alluded to, it's been over 100 games now since.
I didn't realise you were.
I've worked with two of the most.
What night was it? What night was it? You thingy?
And Tony, who are completely different characters, like completely opposite ends of the spectrum, and
could have been.
But I like to think that I'm quite intelligent in terms of breaking down.
That'd have been good. I didn't realise that you were doing anything of it. Everything was just been happening so quick.
What can I steal from an Alex? What can I steal from a Tony? And kind of piece that kind of.
So did you actually do the show on the Monday night?
Find something that is more authentic to me.
So did you do the show on Wednesday night? Did you?
I've got a relationship with the players. I think the players know me. I trust them. They trust me. So
yeah, I was in bed because getting my daughter like settled and stuff. It happened late, didn't it?
It's no different in terms of.
Yes, Bristolian Mackham Rigg did score. Where's Heme? He did feature in the under-21s game. I'm not too sure. I tell you what, I really hate that.
Give your opinion, and then Tony gives you validation for that, you develop more confidence and go, oh, okay, well.
Hi, so Newcastle fans will wreck the city centre.
You start to deliver, you know, you start to improve in terms of your self-confidence.
Absolutely, they'll punch horses.
And it's the same with Alex.
I watched them play Everton. Like Everton just murdered them. I know they scored 3 in the last 11 minutes, but they just passed them off the pitch. But Everton are a good side. Everton are a good side. I think they'll finish in the top half.
I think that's really important for me because I back myself as a coach, and I don't mean that from an arrogant point of view, but I do back myself as a coach.
He was just being cocky. He was just winding the Newcastle players up by just doing funny antics, like diving on purpose when he didn't need to. Like, it was just a simple catch, and he dove on the floor. Oh, we haven't got Basil and Bond, have we, as manager, as the referee today? Is that who it is?
Obviously came in back end of last pre-season, so they've stayed with and Graham Murty's obviously.
He used to have a ponytail, didn't he, or a headband?
He's been a really good sounding board for me because obviously he had a similar responsibility at Rangers, so he's.
We've not had one good game when Basil and Bond's been playing, refereeing, like.
And we're all different personalities. As I said, I'm very process focused. Proc has a really human side to him, whether you can really get into.
Yeah, Jacob, Everton would be 10th if we didn't get the point deduction there. They'll finish in the top half. There's just very poor teams. The bottom 3 and that Premier League, I think, is the bottom 3 gone down.
So the flow has been really good.
Last week, Tony was telling us that the players all had a meeting after.
Do you reckon?
And you know there are 1 or 2 vocal players in that group. I mean, is that something that, I mean, you'd have been there, you'd have witnessed it, and going into the weekend, going into the game now, have those certain players had their say? Have they, in their own way, tried to sort of...
Yeah, in their own way. I think I can't sit here and say that I'm going to follow a process and then open that process out to the rest of the group. I think there are some players within the group you allude to, Corey, that you might use.
Yeah, they're fine, thanks. You lot okay?
But the plan's the plan, and the players have got to execute it. The plan's very detailed, and I think the issue you have sometimes is when you kind of open
Was it good?
To opinions, it becomes a shooting match between this person thinks this person thinks that, and from my experiences, you can have an open culture to a point. But
I like the original one as well.
You can't get away from that. The players want clarity. The players want black.
Oh, aye.
So.
No, it's Chris Wilder. It's Chris Wilder, isn't it? Who was in the original one?
Kind of framework. There has been an element of asking opinions to the odd player. Yeah.
And in terms of process,
dear. Jacob also says the team is fully up for it now, for pulling them unexpected results. Do you know what the annoying thing is, though, is the fact, like, we are the mighty Sunderland. We should have teams saying, like, oh my God, we're playing Sunderland this weekend. We're playing Sunderland. This is going to be difficult, but it's not the case, is it? We're still just bedding into the Championship. I mean, we're still quite a way off the top 4, I would even say. Because we're starting to see it onwards, like, oh my God, we've got a difficult game against West Brom, we've got a difficult game now against Leeds United. Because at the moment, the team's not proven anything to the fans that they're a potentially top 2 side or a bedded in top 6 side. So the confidence, I think, is low with the fans. What do you reckon, Jacob? Do you think that's the case?
They have to take some responsibility as well.
And West Brom briefly, there's one person returning. Will be on everybody's lips, Josh Madger.
Yeah.
Obviously left under a cloud, if you like, in terms of the club selling him. The old adage that when they come back, they tend to score. You'd have done your homework.
No.
And clearly scored his first goal last week. Yeah. So interesting dynamic tomorrow.
Yeah, look, Josh is a good player, and some of the lads, you know, Luke was here obviously when he was here, so I've kind of tapped into some of the boys in terms of.
Yeah, Jacobs just said teams should fear coming up to the stadium and like make it the fortress. And Keith says, totally agree with you. Teams should fear us, but they don't. No, they don't. And like I say, it's the Sunderland fans are in a bit of a rut at the moment. I mean, we've gone a few games now without a win, you know, and we just need a good performance, a convincing performance. I'd like to see Sunderland go out there and win 3 or 4 now, because the Sunderland fans need a bloody pick-me-up. Because so far, this last month, it's been awful football, terrible.
Good afternoon to Bob Houghton, listening in Barbados.
Oh, lovely.
A little bit drier, a little bit warmer than it is here this afternoon.
Nice location.
Yes, very nice. Afternoon, Bob. The players out, the mascots lined up in the centre circle.
I don't know.
Graham Murty's up on the gantry. Mike Dodds is down, obviously, pitch side with Michael Proctor. And Kirill Louis Dreyfus watching on Christian Speakman.
How many times has Sunderland on Sky now? That's been half 12 kickoff. Just time to mute the commentary there because I don't want to get a copyright TikTok for the Elvis Presley song.
And we've got what? 1,
Oh, it's
2,
crazy.
3.
I agree with you, it's been terrible. But with Mowbray gone, do you think that's going to get any better? I didn't know. I don't know.
Mayenda, the recognised strikers. That's probably a number 10. Yes, I think that tells its own story, doesn't it? I mean, Job has got 3 goals this season. So.
Oh, dear me.
He's not a striker. He's
a midfielder, but he's very versatile. I think is the word to use about Job, as Mike Dodds was explaining yesterday. You know, he can switch him around in the team during the game. As
the West Brom are playing in their like fluorescent green tops today.
Huge takes and Sheesh take the knee. We're about to get underway, and it is Huggins at right back. Hume at left.
I saw someone say only 3 home games out of 14 have been at 3 p.m. I know it's a pain in the backside. I mean, just for the fans in general.
Switch around. Apart from that, as you'd expect, the formation, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Sunderland, who are on the attack here. Roberts on the right-hand side. West Bromwich Albion in yellow, light yellow this afternoon. Not their recognised blue and white stripes. As Kipre tries to clear, drops down on the far side for Furlong, the son of Paul Furlong, Darnell Furlong. And there's a possible break. Josh Madger is chasing this, but O'Nien gets back and plays it back to Patterson, who's in light blue this afternoon.
Just change the old score thingies.
The halfway line. And Townsend, Connor Townsend on the left-hand side here, the left back, the captain of West Bromwich Albion, plays the ball back to Alex Palmer. All in black. West Bromwich Albion,
I don't think I could handle. Hello, back again for another video every single time you get an interview.
Against Gateshead is off this afternoon in the trophy because of the atrocious weather. I think it's worse in the west than it is in the east today. The ball played back here to Kipre, across to Kyle Bartley in the team this afternoon in place of Semi Ajayi.
So what minute are you on, Jacob?
The former Arsenal centre-back, but he spent most of his Arsenal career out on loan. Out to the right again, Furlong, inside to Madger. Last seen here, a few boos for Madger, last seen January.
No, I'm about nearly 2.5 minutes, but I'm syncing back to you as well, though. Hold on. I'm on 1 minute 7, 1 minute 8, 1 minute 9. What are you on?
Out to the left-hand side, the ball swung in and over the...
No. I'm on 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah.
Sunderland in these opening stages. Wet this afternoon. I think the forecast is it for it to ease throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, well, I've just rewound Sky in a little bit, Jacob, just so I can keep in sync with the audio commentary on here.
They've pushed right up, haven't they, to try and...
Because if anybody who hasn't got Sky, who's not watching it, I didn't want to sort of spoil it for them.
It's just in the West Bromwich half, but Sunderland have won a free kick over on the far side, just in the West Brom half. The referee's Darren Bond this afternoon, all in black. Last
Aussie
in charge of a Sunderland game on Boxing Day when they beat Blackburn 2-1. He was at Middlesbrough for Tony Mowbray's.
He's just tie-dyeing his neighbour's curtains.
And on the opening day of last season, here for the 1-1 draw with Coventry, his first Sunderland game this season. Here's Luke O'Nien pushing the ball through to Job, who's dropped back into his own half. He's calling for the ball alongside Dan Neal. Job continues his run up through the middle, and it's played out wide on the left-hand side to Clark, trying to thread it through for Ashish, but won back by West Bromwich Albion, who play it back to their goalkeeper Alex Palmer, the 27-year-old who's come through the ranks at West Bromwich Albion. On the touchline, Townsend heads it on, and it's headed out by John Swift. Signed from Reading last year. Back to Equa from Huggins, throw. Inside to Luke O'Neill. Forwards again to Neil. Out to Equa, down the line to Huggins. Huggins now looking for the run here of Ashish. He's cut down the right side of the penalty area. His ball into the box wasn't the greatest. He was looking for
And there's the first side from Gary Bennett.
For West Brom to cut it out. And it's a throw to Sunderland. Huggins will take this.
I think so, yeah.
Yards from the corner on the right. 4 minutes in. Looking for Job in the penalty area. Now Roberts, but it's going to be pushed out by Kipre. And out here to Huggins eventually, and back on the halfway line. Ballard, O'Neill, and back to Patterson. Patterson just outside his penalty area. Mike Dodds screaming instructions from the edge of his technical area. The ball out here to O'Neill on the right hand side, and O'Neill switching the ball across to the left, looking for Hume. Brought down well, but it bounced up awkwardly off him, and Furlong is looking to try and get the ball away, and Hume still battling for it with Hume gets
we're passing well.
Clark now trying to get in on the left of the penalty area. He gets a ball in, but it's headed away by Malumbi and then swept wide, well wide by Daniel.
Neil's just tried a shot there, and it's like come off the side of his foot. His technique was just... Basically, it's like you would have a shot if you've had 30 pints and try and have a shot on goal. That's what Dan Neil's just done here. It was headed back out. Dan Neil. It was that bad, I can't even describe. Want to say our full-backs overlap more. Clark and Roberts need that extra support, says Jacob.
5 minutes played, 5.5 minutes played, 0-0, Sunderland 0, West Brom.
Yeah, you seen it?
0. Bartley back to Kipre, and he just stands with it at the moment, then squares it again across to the right to Bartley. Forwards looking to try and get it through the middle. McMahon,
of course it is.
Under pressure from Job. Still have it though, and the break by Dean Gaza.
Oh, of course it is, as much as you slag them off. But the only way you slag them off or you get fed up or annoyed is because you care about the team. So it's in your blood, isn't it?
To Dan Neil, and Neil through the middle, swings it over here to Huggins, opens up a little bit for Sunderland here. West Bromwich Albion trying to run back, pour back to defend. It comes back to Equa here on the right-hand side. Carlos Corberán getting quite animated at the edge of his technical area.
Sunderland got most of the play at the minute. They are just passing it around.
Generally he is, apparently. The ball out wide on the left. Hume inside to...
I'd take a point. Just they're a decent side. Hi, Paul Mellish. How are you doing, fella?
He's under pressure from Madger. Plays it back to Patterson. Madger, a bit injury hit this season. 8 substitute appearances, but last week scored his first goal. It was against Leicester. Here now, Equa on the right-hand side.
Hope Madger doesn't come back to haunt us. Well, you wouldn't be surprised if he did, would you?
Back to Equa. Equa out to Huggins here on the right-hand side. Huggins on the halfway line. Plays it back from the touchline to O'Neill, who tried to drive it past Madger, but it bounced straight off him back to O'Neill. Now Neil.
Yeah. Oh, that was ridiculous.
Roberts. He's got Huggins ahead of him. Cuts inside. Just flicks it back to Equa. And Equa looking to get it through to Job. Hooked away though by Kipre. Comes up to
absolutely. Alan Frost, all right chaps, just got here. What have I missed? Not really missed anything. Sunderland have had most of the possession, but the possession's been mostly in the centre of the park and in Sunderland's half. They're just keeping hold of the ball, passing it around. They're passing it around quite nicely.
Hume just taps it to Clark on the touchline.
West Brom have had a couple of shots, but they've gone wayward, and Dan Neil's had a shot which went wide of the corner flag.
Touchline again to Clark, back to Neil. Everybody West Brom behind the ball. Just,
I wouldn't be allowed the vinegar sandwiches on the touchline, would I?
Make it very, very difficult for Sunderland to play through.
I mean, Tony Mowbray had his revels on the press conference. Imagine me having my pig's trotters and stuff.
Centre circle. O'Neill again from Ballard, back to Patterson. And it's like this sea of yellow just following the ball. And,
I think so.
Just making it a block, isn't it, across the pitch? So
of course they will.
Go long again. Townsend heads it away from Roberts. It's pushed on through
the middle and out wide. We're 40 on the channel now. Just click the thumbs up and click the subscribe if you're new. Thank you.
Pushed out again to
any Tony Mowbray protests? Not one thing.
Gets back up again. Tries to find Furlong on the right, or Diangana, but it's cleared by Sunderland out to Job. Job into the centre circle.
We've seen some of the best football we've ever played over Tony Mowbray, to be honest with you.
Taking on Furlong into the penalty area, onto his right foot, pushing it back here to Neil. And he's got a little bit tangled up under his feet. He finds then to his left Hume, and Hume back to Neil. Neil down the left again to Clark. Clark, Furlong in front of him, taking him on into the box, trying to go round Furlong, trying to find an opening, and dinks it in looking for Job, or indeed Ekwa. Comes out in the middle to O'Nien, and just over the bar his volley.
Yeah, you're just looking
Perhaps
at
the only option.
Yeah, you're just looking at opportunity. Clark's done well. He's rolled it to Nick.
Keith Lupton, don't get much news here in Australia. Who's in charge tonight? It's Dodds, caretaker manager.
Leeds, of course, here on Tuesday.
And that's who our county manager, or Johnny Anderson, or temporarily coach, should I say. For me, his sacking was a travesty. Says Alan.
Now with Diangana, Grady Diangana, the Ivory Coast midfielder. He's taking it through the middle, looking for Madger. Madger in the penalty area, to the edge of the 6-yard box. Ballard makes the challenge.
I think they've... cheers, Kingfisher, thanks for that. I think they've got somebody lined up. They've had somebody lined up for quite a while, to be honest with you. And I just think they're just fine-tuning things before they announce the manager.
John Swift is going to take the corner from the right.
And I just think with Sunderland drawing Newcastle as well, I think it's just was the final nail on the coffin. I just thought it's such a high-profile game. And I just thought, right, we've got to get rid of Mowbray now before we play the Mags and that, because they know what it means to Sunderland. And they could just see Sunderland's form really, really dipping. And I think that really helped to make the decision for Sunderland to sack Mowbray.
Penalty spot. Townsend's got it again, putting it back in the box, looking for Swift. Heads it across the 6-yard box, plucked out by Patterson. Off the head of Bartley. 0-0 still. Patterson just waiting.
Rumour has it Sunderland tea ladies in charge today. Biding their time before they announce, says Alan.
Nick, is the tempo, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's, shall we say, too slow.
I think this has been a bit quicker than normal in terms of these teams that have been sitting in on Sunderland.
Sunderland passing it around at the moment, but very deep in their own half.
Still not sort of end-to-end, is it? The ball in the middle, Townsend heading it up, flicked on by Mowat, picked up by Swift, right side of midfield, out to Diangana, right at the edge of the penalty area. He's got in, he's trying to find the ball in, blocked by Ekwa, pulls it back here now to the edge of the area. Furlong lift comes for Mowat to as one a corner. It took a slight deflection off the boot of
no sooner had we got promotion and the FCA few interviewing replacements for Tony. No way I blame Tony for recent form.
One or two balls
Says
in the middle of
Keith.
the park where they're getting space and causing us one or two problems.
Mowat's going to take this corner this time, not Swift. From the right again at the north end. It's played short behind to Furlong, I think it was. It's played in. No, Diangana it was. Furlong's in the 6-yard box. It's headed back in by Malumbi. Headed out by Job. It's come out to Diangana. He plays it back to Townsend.
Good pressure this from West Brom at the moment.
Looking for Madger. It's going to drop for Madger, will it? It finds Furlong, comes back out then, and Mowat again with a shot, and just past the post. Patterson at full stretch, I think he had it covered, but it wasn't far wide. 0-0.
Yeah, just thinking West Brom are picking not just the first ball, but
they're winning the second ball, then reworking it into the box.
You know, they're pressing high up, wanting Sunderland to kick it long.
Yeah. 0-0. Lost 3 games away from home this season. 1-2, drawn 3 and lost 3. Bear in mind that behind the scenes, West Brom, I think, as we
Sunderland's just give a sloppy pass away there. Who do you blame for recent form then?
West Bromwich Albion fan on the lowdown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, the manager always gets the flack, doesn't it? If you go into a restaurant and you're not happy with the service, you complain to the manager. If you your phone company, if you're not happy with your phone bills, whatever, you complain to the manager. Unfortunately, the manager or the coach gets the flak.
The goalkeeper, all in black, and he pushes it out to Bartley, back to.
But you're going to have.
Palmer.
Oh, it's a big mistake by West Brom keeper here.
Roberts trying to set up here. Oh, sheesh. Oh, it's bobbled out of the keeper's hands.
Offside.
Offside. Oh, no.
Won't count.
I didn't think he was offside, but
not sure.
Oh, man.
See that one again.
Shish's shot was mishandled by the goalkeeper. Job followed up, but the flag was up.
I'd like to see that one again.
And the goal ruled out. Yeah, would like to see that again.
Well.
But Job was in there. I mean, the interesting thing is, so now O'Neill has to get back because Sarmiento was.
What do you think, guys? In there, was that onside? Was that offside?
I think the overriding factor to take from that, if it was offside, is Job was there.
Yeah,
he was in where, you know, if you're going to get goals, you've got to be in the.
Sky paused it there, and it looked to me as if Job was about 2 foot onside. I don't know.
Again, looking to get through the middle with Ashish, but tied it up.
Onside for me, says Jacob. Inexperienced players failure to put the ball between the sticks despite having more chances than enough. Not Tony's fault.
He just passes it out to Kipre.
Do you know what the trouble is? When you've got owners and then you haven't got a manager, you've got a coach. So that means the owners make the decisions with the signings. It's always going to cause a conflict because the manager hasn't got, or the coach hasn't got complete control. He's West Brom coming forward, and they've cleared.
Back to Mowat, now Malumbi just in front of the centre circle. Malumbi plays it back to Alex Mowat.
So it causes a tiff between the manager and
Scunthorpe, a few years back now, Connor Townsend, the 30-year-old.
The board.
Bartley through to
and that
Malumbi,
goes down towards the players. That tells on the players and it affects the players. It's a whole mixture of things.
Nodding it back down to Dion Garner, back to Bartley, back to Kipre. And it's just
if the manager and the owners are arguing and there's an atmosphere, a bad atmosphere, that passes down onto the side.
Onside, Bunny? Yeah, I thought it was onside.
So it's the players, it's the manager, and it's the owners, I would say. It's the whole lot together. It's just not good.
Out for throw to Sunderland in the corner on the left. 0-0 then, but controversially, it would seem now that Job goal being ruled off when in fact he was on. Still early days, just got to get your heads down and get on with it.
That's disgusting, that, like. I don't know what the hell the referee was saying there.
He plays it back to Palmer, who's come out of his penalty area and sweeps it down over the halfway line. Hume heads it on.
I don't know.
To halfway, it drops for Neil.
That was clear as day onside.
To Clark, and he's surely onside. He is. Flag stays down, and Clark dribbles into the penalty area, and it's thumped behind by Kipre for the corner. Sunderland's first corner, but West Brom Albion clearly defend as a body, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I'm told that Roberts was offside but wasn't interfering with play. So 18th minute, 0-0, Sunderland's first corner of the game. Down with Clark.
But the linesman is in line, well, you would think, with Job. I mean, surely you can see there's a clear daylight of that he's actually onside.
Back a few yards, right arm raised briefly, and we'll swing this in, and it's headed away by Kipre, out to Ekwa. Of course, the inevitable sound of shoot, but he had a man right on him straight away. He tries to thread it through away.
What on earth has the linesman been looking at? You can clearly see.
Ekwa up to Madger, who loses it, and Huggins plays it back.
Unbelievable.
Patterson passing it now to Ballard. Ballard looking for options, short ahead of him to Neil, out to Hume. Hume on halfway on the touchline, back to Ballard. Ballard to to Neil, and Neil over halfway, looking for Clark. Now he turned on that and nearly went past Furlong, but Donald Furlong got the better of it. Finally Bartley back to Palmer, the goalkeeper, back to Bartley, closed down by Clark, who challenges him and forces a throw for West Bromwich Albion on the far side. Foot of the east stand. Halfway inside the West Brom half, Furlong will take the throw, finds Malumbi, back to Furlong on the touchline, gives the ball straight to Ekwa as he tries.
Some of the fans are saying absolutely incredible. For once, VAR would have done us a favour if it was used in the Championship.
Plays it back to Patterson. Madger's still going.
That's an absolute shocking decision. He ain't spitting dummies out.
From his former teammate, up onto the head of Bartley, drops for Diangana.
Honestly, do they pick these people off the high street to ref these matches, linesmen or whatever? Do they just say, do you want a flag here?
To Townsend, back to Kipre. Job trying to put pressure on him, back to the goalkeeper, out to Bartley on the far side, and
I don't know. Oh, that was disgusting. That.
A photograph from the studio of the
I don't understand employing a manager if you don't give them what they want. Think Brian Clough. If you don't back your manager with money support, trust in their judgment, you don't have one. It doesn't make sense, does it? Why don't they use VAR on these games? It's about time VAR was in the Championship. It's getting more lucrative every season. It's getting faster. It's getting better. It's getting more money involved. West Brom linesman, says Mike. Jacob says, shocking from the linesman. Don't know what he's saying. I don't know. I really don't know.
And now out to Furlong. So Diangana, Furlong's just inside of him. Diangana gets past Clark. Hume slides in.
Good morning.
And as you'd expect, takes no prisoners, gets the ball, gets it out to Clark. Clark head down, rides one challenge, trying to get round another. He's got the advantage, he keeps going, the referee's given him the advantage. Roberts now on the right-hand side, he's got Huggins pushing through. Roberts still going, Roberts still going.
Oh!
He's brought down and the referee says no. Malumbi's furious. And he's had a little kick out at Roberts, he's still pushing, pointing the finger at Roberts.
Roberts did a fantastic run there. Like, he took about 4 or 5 on. Mr. Barnsley, come on, son from a Barnsley fan. Thank you, Mr. Barnsley. Good luck today.
Well, if he's gone down, he's dived. So he should get booted.
The referee yet not taking any action.
There's no need for him to go down.
That's my feeling. Why does he? Unless he completely lost balance, but it looked like there was contact.
But even that, Nick, the referee should act.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not surprised with Basildon Bond in referee. Every time he refs at the stadium. Ref, it's Basildon Bond, Brett, who's the manager, who's the referee. Every time Bond is the ref up here, it's beggars belief the decisions that go against us. He's the worst referee that could possibly ref a Sunderland game at the stadium. Like, he was terrible for how many games in Division 1?
He's rolled 3 tackles.
He did, yeah.
And no action being taken.
Well, the referee, in fairness, did give the advantage. He did wave it on. He was about to pull it back.
I don't know. How you doing, Daly? Okay, what's with all this early? How you doing? I know.
Sarmiento on the left. He looks up and he plays it inside here into the middle, where it's just tapped back to Mowat. And Mowat to Kipre. And Kipre forwards here, looking for.
If you have just joined us, Sunderland have already been robbed by a clear as daylight goal disallowed when he was clearly onside, and a possible penalty. Roberts going down, but I'll yet to see the replay of that. I don't really know.
Kipre is actually kneeling, crouched. I think he felt that as well, clearly. Just rubbing the back of his head. 23rd minute.
He's a mag. Conrad Tank, I love Roberts, so fiery and skilled. The referee.
Looks like a very dogged West Bromwich Albion. They're going to have to work hard to find a way through, but they've done that twice and been denied, once by probably the wrong decision for offside.
Graham Wade, hello mate, welcome to the channel mate. Neutral here, the linesman and ref are shocking, simple as I've said many times. Every time this Bond manager, every time this Bond referee has got involved in reffing the match for Sunderland, it's been like this. It's been awful. It's been terrible. The decisions have just been shocking, and it's all against Sunderland.
Goal of the season. But then go back to the goal against Reading, which was somehow deemed not even fit enough to make the top 10, was it? Of goals in the season. So that's probably one of those where they'd only look at the final.
I don't know what teams we were playing at the Stadium of Light, but every time Bond has been refereeing, it's like we're playing against a 12-man.
For a breather and a bit of liquid refreshment, and heading back on. Drop ball then in West Bromwich Albion's favour here. Kipre and the
could have been, yeah, we could have won against when Bond was refereeing, but
0-0. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Newcastle, and a reminder that Rochdale's game against Gateshead in the trophy this afternoon has been called off. Joe waiting to
Dale says fed up with owners and the sacking. Must say I did not want Mowbray. I don't like many names that's in the bag. I know.
Looking for Sarmiento, but it's going to run away out for a throw to Sunderland on the right.
I know.
Huggins waiting to take the throw. Job still waiting to get back on.
What, you cannot?
Standing beside the fourth official here as play continues. With O'Nien trying to clear it, Huggins trying to, and then played inside by Roberts, and Job comes straight back on and almost ran onto the ball. Bartley had to be sharp to cut across the face of him, has to be sharp again to get across the front.
70 watching, 23 likes. Let's smash that like button and hit the subscribe if you are new to the channel. Thank you.
He did, there's a right skid mark in the Glenn won't be very pleased.
Oh, I absolutely are.
Here's Huggins with the throw, halfway inside the West Brom half. Finds Job, back out to Huggins, flicks it onto Ashish. Tried to get it through and has to Roberts here, back heel, which comes off the defender.
Lamar well and truly beat them now.
Another throw to Sunderland down the right in the 26th minute.
Well and truly beat them.
Looking for Job, takes it at the corner of the penalty area, but 3 players around him.
Oh God, yeah.
Comes away from it with it, just lays it back off behind him.
Ecuador Oliveira says Brazil.
And Bartley forwards again.
At the moment, we're not quite playing like Brazil.
He plays it out to the right to Malumbi. Back again to Bartley, bringing it up through the middle for West Bromwich Albion. And at the back of the centre circle, just squares it here to Kipre, back to Bartley, and in fact left for Malumbi. Down the right wing.
Be interesting what the Sky pundits say over that offside decision. I know a lot of people say it swings and roundabouts because, you know, we get goals where it should have been offside, and eventually things do level up in the season. But it does seem a lot of decisions go against Sunderland, especially at home.
Hume finds Clark.
Blackburn 0, Leeds 1, says Conrad.
Madger closes him down and trying to put pressure on Patterson.
Would have story of us need to score simple, really. I know.
And he will now just pass it to Swift. Swift looking to try and get it in to Mowat again, but O'Nien manages to pass it to Huggins.
Oh, no bother. Is Speakman responsible for all the new signings? No manager worth having should agree to that. I think that's where it is. They have no say whatsoever of what players get brought in. It's like, I'm shutting the door, I'm shutting the coach out while we discuss what players we bring in, and then they open the door and say, Mr. Coach, welcome to our new player. The coach doesn't like it, doesn't think it's right, causes friction, doesn't it?
And you know, I don't know why we don't press further up the field.
It's Blackburn 0, Leeds 1 in the other 12:30 in the Championship. Sunderland's opponents, of course, Leeds on Tuesday night.
Leeds are going really well at the moment.
Taking a throw, finally, down the line, bounces away from Clark, but Hume gets it back, leaves it for Clark, slips it through the legs of the midfielder, and gets it eventually to Ashish. Ashish wide now to Roberts on the right wing, and Roberts dribbling at Townsend, goes around the back and slips it through to Ashish. On the right, first time ball in here, looking for Joe, but the header's fairly tame, and it loops and drops into the hands of Palmer fairly comfortably.
When I was talking, you know, Dan Neil was coming onto that ball. He would have got some more power.
Bradley Dack must have been Mowbray's choice. I'm not sure. Do you know they said that on
Here West Brom passing out again to Kipre.
on BBC Radio Newcastle on Total Sport.
We're in the 29th minute, and Bartley just strolling forwards with the ball, plays it across here to Kipre again, back to Palmer, the goalkeeper, out to Bartley on the right side of the penalty area again, forwards to Malumbi, leaves it for Diangana, looking for the run of Furlong, but Hume's got in front of him, back to Patterson, Madger goes to close him down, Patterson tries to play it out and plays it straight out to touch.
Very, very quiet stadium like at the moment. It's like a bit edgy.
Right for West Brom. Furlong takes the throw back to Diangana. He plays it into the middle to Mowat. Straight ahead of him, it's played by Swift out to the left here to Sarmiento, or by Townsend to Sarmiento, who's trying to jiggle his way in the penalty area past Huggins.
Well
Huggins has stood his ground and got the ball off Sarmiento. Sarmiento continues to try and win it back and does, gets a touch to it for Townsend on the quadrant in the corner, and eventually it goes out for a goal kick.
Well done. Excellent defending there by Huggins there.
That for
Speakman's turn will come and I will laugh and laugh. Yeah, I know, you're probably right there. Was he not a free? I'm not sure. How are we doing, Davy? All right, lad?
For the 21-year-old on loan from Brighton, he was at Benfica.
Yep, absolutely disgusting. Did you see that?
But unfortunately, Hamir is not here. Well, he's not on the bench anyway.
Nothing to fear.
Nothing to
He was about 2 foot on side.
Anyway, Roberts is dribbling forwards and trying to find Jobe in the penalty area. Good tackle though by Kipre. The ball just stays in on the goal line, and Townsend managed to hook it away. Up to O'Nien, man on. Sarmiento. Ekwa gets it back away from the Ecuadorian to O'Nien. O'Nien plays it across to Hume, left of the centre circle, and then down the left again to Clark. Clark to Furlong, going round him, trying to go round him. Furlong sticking with him. He cuts inside, and on the edge of the penalty area goes down. That is a free kick. He was an inch away from that being a penalty, Clark.
Excellent play by Jack Clark again.
But brought down right on the left edge of the penalty area, almost on the corner of the penalty box.
Do we even need a manager? Leave it up to a fan vote and raffle who gets to stand on the side of the pitch. Well, just let I don't know.
So Roberts stands over.
Just let the owners manage the team. We don't need a coach or manager. Let the owners do it all.
Diangana signed from West Ham, a former.
Darth, what do you think our linesman's seen there? When he couldn't have had a better view than that.
Both players have one international cap. Madger has one Nigerian.
No, for the offside decision. But I mean, how do you think the hell he got that wrong?
And Diangana won against New Zealand as the ball whipped in here, headed down, and it's put back in by Clark, low, straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he couldn't get enough power on it, Jack Clark.
That's why we need VAR in the Championship, eh?
Defended by West Brom.
And now here on the right, Huggins battling with Sarmiento, winning the battle again, getting the ball back to Patterson. Pushed out to Ballard. Out again to Neil. And then forwards here to Ashish on the halfway line. Looks up, lifting it over the top for Jobe to chase. Kipre goes with him. Jobe gets in front of the Ivorian. Holds him off, plays it back to Clark. Clark now looking to get this, if he can, back in the penalty area. Ashish is in there, Jobe's in there, and Roberts is in there. The ball played in by Clark, headed away by Bartley. Jobe was just behind him. O'Nien heads it back. Ballard heads it away from Madger, who was looking to break. His body's everywhere, and now a free kick for West Bromwich Albion. Madger down, clutching his ankle.
Yeah, he is.
Referee surrounded by a group of players, both teams.
Hello, Anna Welke. Yes, I listened to that on Talk Sport when I was at work about Jack Clark, absolutely.
And they're waving the trainer on, aren't they?
Yeah, Madger's waving his right hand.
We'd be 4 goals up by now if offside and goalkeepers didn't exist, says Derek.
Look again at the incident that... Well,
I just messaged Dan before saying, while you're down Christmas shopping, get me some vinegar, I'm running low.
Was it caught Madger on the ankle, but
he's being booked.
Ballard's been booked for the challenge on Madger.
So Dan.
And Madger's still getting treatment here. Surrounded by West Brom players. Townsend, as Malumbi was also involved in a challenge behind the one that Ballard was penalised for on Madger.
Surely the disallowed goal again.
They are going to make a change. I assume that
it was going to be
Thomas Asante will come on.
I don't think it's him.
You don't think so?
No.
He wasn't flagging for a foul for on the goalkeeper, was he?
Yellow. Takes him to 7 yellow cards this season, actually. But, Madger's sitting up. Still receiving treatment.
It's just a pity you couldn't interview the referees and linesmen after the game, could it?
Might be Fellows or Taylor.
They're trying to get him ready as quickly as possible, but he's taking his time down in the dugout. Madger's hauled to his feet. Clearly not.
Absolutely. Oh, I think Madger's coming off. He's in tears, actually. He's in tears. He's limping. He's really limping badly.
He's been somewhat beset with injuries this season. This yet another for the 24-year-old. Pat on the back for him from his captain Connor Townsend.
Do you think Big Sam would put up with Speakman and KLD? Brian Clough would have a mutiny happening by now. Thing is, mate, when Clark has found out Mowbray should change tactics, he didn't change tactics, did he? And once we know who replaces Mowbray, we can be angry or not. We can be angry.
That he's coming on instead of Thomas Asante.
But I got the hint from last night's guest on our programme talking about West Brom that Thomas Asante's been struggling himself for goals of late. So they're going to try out this young fellow. Tom Fellows.
I tell you, you're full of it today.
Must be the weather. Clearly the weather. So Madger heading off down the tunnel. Fellows is the replacement. Referee having a word with Kyle Bartley at the moment. Going to get, what, 3 or 4 minutes, if not 5 minutes, I think, added on at the end of this first half. The rain seems to have eased, which was forecast. It's going to stay damp, but it's not heavy like it was earlier. Bartley with the short free kick in front of him to Malumbi, back to Bartley.
But the last 3 or 4 games with Clark and that, we were just trying the same. Clark was just running into traffic and he wasn't actually getting anywhere. And it was just sleep, rave, repeat every game. It was predictable. And we weren't changing it. There was no plan B, C, D or E. Sometimes there wasn't even a plan A.
That's at the feet of Hume. Wide on the left. Back to Ballard. Ballard back to Patterson. And Patterson playing it left again to the corner of the penalty area. And Ballard out to Hume, looking for Jobe, gets in front of Bartley. Then Clark plays a sort of up and under, looking for the run of Roberts. It's headed out. And out it comes to Sarmiento. Heads it down straight to Roberts. And now trying to get past Sarmiento. Roberts gets it to Aushish. Sarmiento gets a foot in, but
Sunderland hustling very, very well here. Oh, that's too powerful. That's too powerful.
Kipray's shoulders back to the goalkeeper. 0-0. 38th minute here at the Stadium of Light, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Tomorrow is Tottenham versus Newcastle. Ray's Ronaldo tomorrow afternoon. And
Richard Gent says this referee and linesman, quite frankly, are effing appalling. Not offside, was a pen and a book in Ballard. We should have had a free kick.
Townsend's gone far forward up on the halfway line, leaving Sarmiento wide on the left. Mowat back here, almost like they're playing a 3 now, with Sarmiento pushed on down the left wing. Townsend in midfield. And the ball's picked up by Sunderland on the corner of the penalty area. Neil's cross, headed by Ashish, back behind him. Roberts trying to tee up Ekwa, who finds Huggins, who bursts into the area, pulls it back from the goal line. It's put behind by Palmer for a corner. Sunderland's second corner. We did hear from the lowdown last night that Carlos Corberán likes to change things through the game tactically. I wonder that's what he's done now with the formation for his team, with Townsend pushing on, but we'll get a clearer idea after this corner, which is taken short by Clark to Roberts, back out to Neil, into the middle to Ekwa. Ekwa closed down by his left boot through it, but it hits the back row of the lower section of the Roker end. So 0-0 still. And Townsend's dropped back again to this left-back position. And Palmer has the two centre-backs either side of him. One is pushing forwards, Bartley on the right. The goalkeeper picks the ball up and takes it across the right side of his 6-yard box. Places it there for the kick. And all the players over on the far side, the east side of the pitch. As Palmer puts his right boot through it, the ball sails down the right, headed up in the air by Hume, back down again onto the head of Furlong, and a throw to Sunderland.
I will say Sunderland have been the better side this first half. Like, as we all know, they've harshly been done by, but we've just... Yeah.
And Patterson will take this at the edge of his corner of his penalty area and play at a 6-yard box and play it out to Ballard, who takes it away down the left. Fellows gives chase. Ballard down the line to Hume, under pressure from Furlong, and Malumbi.
I'll be catching up on it.
Ballard trying to get it off him.
I would like the food channel challenges, because I would just say that, wouldn't I?
We've played 40 minutes. Sunderland 0, West Bromwich Albion 0, but Sunderland have had, well, a goal ruled off from.
Yeah, I know. I would have to go on there.
A possible penalty for a push on Roberts.
There's a picture of KLD zooming in on Sky TV. He's on his phone texting somebody. Is he texting the new coach to come in, do you think, perhaps? Penny for your thoughts.
The advertising board drying off the ball here.
Penny for your thoughts, KLD.
He's going to have to intervene here, because there's been a lot of argy-bargy and pushing in the 6-yard box and around.
09 and Bartley.
Referee pointing the finger as you say it.
Oh, without a doubt.
Bartley's on his shoulder.
Yeah, we definitely do, Conrad. Miss Stewart.
Bartley's appealing again. Here comes the long throw. It drops, bounces over to Bartley, headed out by Ballard to the corner of the penalty area where Swift tried to stretch for it, and Clark just has to clear it into touch. That was bouncing everywhere. It could have gone anywhere. Finally cleared. Throw to
Possession, West Brom 56%, Sunderland 44. Stats mean nothing. It's the goals that matter.
But the referee's told to go back. Yeah, to take it back on the halfway line. It's to Malumbi, gets it back again, and then plays it across here, looking for Sarmiento. Huggins in front of him. Sarmiento turns away from Huggins into the middle rather than the left, and looking in the penalty area to try and get, well, eventually Malumbi, who gets the ball back in here, drops down on the chest of Swift. He's got his back to goal though, and he's trying to tee up here. Malumbi finally, well, in front of Diangana, who digs it out and wins a corner after the deflection. Tried to scoop it up on the penalty spot. Third West Bromwich Albion corner.
He's texting the ticket offers, says
you
Mike.
Know what the question's going to be, you know, what will the new coach be able to do differently with this team?
Well, he'll have to find a way. Mowat with the corner from the left here. Left-footed, out swinging to the back of the area, and there's a push. Was there on the Sunderland player? Malumbi drives it back in. Out it comes again. Huggins on the right here. Mowat trying to win it off Huggins. Now Roberts manages to stab it out to Neil, looking for Ekwa, and he has to be quick to get his foot to it, and he can only push it back up onto the halfway line and back into West Bromwich Albion possession. Swift on the left of the...
It was brilliant. Pickford was quality, wasn't he?
Plays it to Bartley looking for the run.
Sunderland ball number. Did you see that? Did you see the joke save he made, Darv, when he pretended to dive when he had the ball?
43 minutes played of the first half.
He caught the ball. It was a high cross from Newcastle. It was an easy catch for Pickford, and then he just did this over-exaggerating dive when all he had the ball, and all the Everton fans went, "Way!" He was loving it. You can't tell me he loves beating the Mags. It doesn't matter who he's playing for.
In the air, nods it down to Diangana.
You could see the Sunderland passion in his veins.
Roberts is furious. It went over his head. Roberts wanted to play in front of him, and they played on the floor, and it went over him, and Roberts was not best pleased with that pass. Demonstrably so.
Yeah, and again, that's frustration.
Bartley.
Yes, you are annoyed, but for me, sometimes I don't like seeing that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Let's come back to Kipre. Kipre in the middle of the West Bromwich Albion half, short pass to Bartley. 44 minutes, and the ball played down the right of the penalty area. Fellows to chase, and Hume's gone with him. Fellows still has it, and Hume's sticking with him now. Fellows has got past him into the penalty area, and it's played in and cleared by O'Nien, with Sarmiento about to pull the trigger.
Good defending. This is when you concentrate, Nick, because
we know how many times
happens
just
we
before
concede on half-time, you know.
Throw to
0-0.
West Brom then halfway inside.
Pickford dive savers, yes. 0-0 would probably match how the atmosphere around Sunderland is at the minute. Like, it's sort of a bit of a stalemate, like what's going on. And
trying to get in. Diangana gets it back in the penalty area. Ekwa takes it off his feet and bangs it out for a throw.
This is when you need your experienced players to say, look, on the verge of half-time, this is when you dig deep,
concentrate, get the ball up the other end. The fourth official, 5 minutes. We thought it would be about that. Martin Wood stand below us, 5 minutes. Here's Diangana, ball in the box again, headed out by Neil, but straight to Townsend. Right, Mowat onto the touchline. Swift forwards to.
I was looking at the Liverpool game, Darv.
Touch though from Hume, gets the ball to Clark. Clark though, Fellows almost got it back. Clark comes back with it to the corner of his penalty area, plays it out to Ekwa. Ekwa to the left, the touchline, where it's played back to Ballard by Aushish.
Anna says dreading January the 6th.
Huggins trying to get the ball into the path of Job. Townsend goes back in front of him and plays it out for a throw in the corner.
Excellent, good run
Pressure
by
from Job.
Bellingham. Yeah.
Throw left for Huggins to take. Roberts on the goal line. Job
Anna says dreading January the 6th.
Behind him is O'Nien. O'Nien on the touchline. Back to Ballard. Ballard forwards to Ekwa. Ekwa forwards through to Job. Back to Neil. Roberts down the right side of the penalty area. He's looking for someone to run onto this. Neil took a deflection, I thought, but off one of his own players and over the bar. I think he was trying to place it in the top corner. Back to sails over. 47th Ballard forwards to Ekwa. Ekwa back with goalkeeper.
Any commentary? You should be commenting on now. You should be able to hear it, Ben.
Placing the ball right side.
I've just turned it up a bit so you can maybe see more of it.
Drift across to that right hand side, the east stand side.
No.
Roker end. And his kick goes wide. Looking for Diangana, or in the end it was Bartley who got his head on. Then flag up, foul on Ballard by Diangana, the Congo international. And Ballard takes the free kick, pushes it back to O'Nien, and he's
very quiet, steady Malite.
Pressure from Swift, gets it back to Ballard, back inside to O'Nien, and
all wondering what's going on with our club at the moment, where we're heading.
Looking for
nothing,
an avenue, but he can't find one at the minute, and still has it. So he plays it across to Neil. Neil takes it into the West Brom half, out wide to Hume, back to Dan Neil on the halfway line, and then back in his own half. Ballard in the middle to Luke O'Nien, and then he will play it forwards in front of him to Roberts. Back to O'Nien, to Roberts again, back to O'Nien and closed down by Sarmiento, but O'Nien gets it to Roberts here on the right-hand side, and Roberts now to Huggins. Huggins back inside to Roberts. Roberts just inside the West Brom half, looking to try and find Clark, but the pass wasn't up to
attendance, I don't know. They'll not mention the attendance
till
till about 10 minutes, 15 minutes before full time.
We're in the 49th minute, creeping ever closer.
It'll be in
to
a
half
funny
time
for kick-off, and it's on Sky. I'd say about maybe 35, 36,000.
Live here on BBC Radio Newcastle.
Hard to tell, really.
We were to have a double bill, but Rochdale Gateshead's off now this afternoon in the trophy. A lot of rain in the northwest.
Yeah.
Players again over.
Stadium light's pretty empty at the minute.
Side for West Bromwich Albion, waiting for this Palmer goal kick, and he duly delivers.
Everybody going for their half-time pints and pies, I think.
So wide, it's gone out for a throw. Should be taken by Hume. Into Dan Neal, back to Hume on the touchline. Behind him is Ballard. Ballard across and back to Patterson in the last minute of the first half.
It is Anna.
On the right. He's going to get round Swift, and he plays it across to Ballard. Ballard bringing this out wide on the left to Hume. Hume back to Ballard, and Ballard will play it back to Patterson. In his light blue, and he will kick this wide, looking for Huggins. Huggins heads it in from the touchline over Aushish, though. It drops for
It's been a very strange first half.
Malumbi in the middle, plays it back to
He should be
Bartley.
1-0 up.
And he plays it to Kipre, and now to Townsend wide on the left. 15 seconds of the 5 minutes left. Here's Mowat in the middle of the West Brom half. He plays it to Bartley. He's got that runner on the right, and it's swept forward right through to Patterson. Seconds.
Minute Patterson throws this out, kicks out. That's going to be half time. I think.
Look at the watch from Darren Bond. Whistle to his mouth. Half time. Goalless then at half time. What do you think so far?
There's not much change, is there?
Did you expect much?
Well, we look at maybe or ask the reasons why Tony Mowbray ain't managing the team today. We all know why, because we haven't got somebody who can put the ball in the back of the net. Now, you look at, okay, we had one which has been disallowed, but overall, you wouldn't say the pattern of play has changed, the tempo of the game has changed.
It's like what Gary Bennett's saying, like, you wouldn't say the pattern of play has changed much from Sunderland. I mean, we're any better off.
That's the way they're playing.
But
getting rid
they
of Tony
should
Mowbray.
be one up. The penalty, not the penalty, the argument about the penalty, the goal that was disallowed should have been allowed.
Should have been allowed, yes.
That probably, would that have changed the game?
It would have changed the game, yes.
I don't know.
Got our noses in front. But overall, you don't see much change, and then you wonder,
it's just
when a new manager comes in, or coach, shall we say, what is he going to do different? Okay, he needs to get the forwards up and running, to find a way of scoring goals, a way of, shall we say, creating more opportunities rather than relying on maybe a Jack Clark or a Patrick Roberts. You're thinking, where else are we going to get goals from?
Well, it does say something that they've gone with Jove and not one of the other strikers, doesn't it?
That's right. So, you know, again, if it's
says Dak needs to be started, needs time to warm up, but will always score.
Job is playing in ahead of 4 or 5 strikers which we've got. We've got 3 of them, 4 of them on the bench.
Yes. So, half-time, second half to come on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. It's Sunderland 0, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Nicola's on the phone. What are you doing tonight?
I'm going to a Christmas party.
What character are you at the Christmas?
Yeah, we'll just mute the commentary for a second. No. Back in a second, guys. I'm just going to get a cup of tea and maybe a
He wouldn't normally play. Obviously, we've got a South Africa trip next week, which is good. So it is good. It just gives it, as I say, it just brings a little bit of freshness really to the league, or to the season, hopefully.
That is the Newcastle Falcons defence coach Mickey Ward. They're speaking to Dean Gray ahead of the Falcons' home match against Montpellier in the European Challenge Cup tomorrow. 3:15 kick-off commentary via the BBC Sport website and app. And basketball last night in the BBL Championship, the Newcastle Eagles lost 89 points to 71 against the Bristol Flyers. And tonight in the WBBL Championship, the Newcastle Eagles are against the Cardiff Met Archers.
Yes, I am back. Hello, hello, hello.
Ice hockey tonight. The Whitley Warriors away to the Widnes Wild. The face-off is at 7 o'clock. There's some cricket later too. England take on
Mike,
West Indies at the Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, where it's probably
the reason I don't turn the radio on at half time is because there's a lot of songs
on BBC Radio
get played on in the background, and I get done for copyright, so that's why I put it on mute. And there's no football, but we're back on.
Total Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Welcome back to the Stadium and Lights.
One at half time is because there's a lot of songs get played on in the background.
Remind you of who they are: Bishop, Burstow, Roostin, Barr, Pritchard, Sealt, Triantis, Dack and Mayenda. Alex Palmer, the West Bromwich Albion keeper, just strolling out of the...
Would you be happy with a point today, Darvin?
West Brom team probably not far behind, but I think Palmer's come out probably a little bit earlier.
Yeah, you lot.
Get a warm-up. Was it Millwall last week, wasn't it? The Millwall keeper came out really early.
He did.
Doing a few exercises, and Palmer likewise. Just conversing at half-time about, you know, the team and where it's going and what direction it's going to take. And you know, the
probably
question
got that Al Jazeera League, won't he?
Comes back to this model, and is it sustainable with the direction it seems to be going? Is a young team with a young coach, is that a sustainable model for promotion to the Premier League? Big question, nobody really knows the answers.
It's sustainable, but what you've got to have, Nick, is you've got to have plan A, B and even C, because you cannot play the same way in every single game. After a little while, the opposition will know how you do things. So, like for instance, we've seen here this afternoon, especially in that first 45 minutes, West Brom are pushed high up the pitch. They want Sunderland to kick the ball long. Now we've got to find another plan. How do we do that? How do we get round that? Because we haven't got a centre forward. You know, and it's the same with the coach. Whoever comes in, they've got to have a plan A, B or even C, because they've got to find a way of scoring goals.
Now, if it's true that last week the ownership weren't happy about the second half substitutions, and that was Dack and Pritchard coming on, do you think we'll see them come on in the second half this afternoon?
If that's a rumour that they weren't happy with Dack or Pritchard, well, basically the best way to do is don't have them on the bench.
Yeah.
Why have you got them at the club? Why you've got them at the club if you're not happy if they enter the field of play?
Did you just say that because Kevin's just shown you a packet of club biscuits?
Club, you can't beat them. You cannot beat a club biscuit.
You can't. Orange as well, very nice.
But
no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
You know, if you don't want Pritchard or your Dacks or them coming on before any of the young players, don't have them on the bench. And then you're thinking, well, where's that coming from then? Who's actually saying about the substitution? Who's picking the substitution? Who's picking the team, shape of the team, who to play and who not to play? You know, then you start thinking that you're becoming a sort of a robot. You know, somebody presses a button and you've got to do this. You've got to play that. You've got to change, you know, all of a sudden make a change.
Come on, lads.
Football management, isn't it? It's like one of them PlayStations or whatever it is. Xbox.
Well, you know, there's a possibility of a young coach coming in being told, look, you know, you will have to perhaps acquiesce in terms of who we want you to play. But I guess young coaches now ambitious will say, okay, if that's that modus operandi, that's what I have to work under.
I think I'd be happy with a point today,
I
mind.
have this conversation near enough every day. Everybody wants to play Pep Guardiola's way. The only thing is, Pep Guardiola's got the players to do that.
That's it, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know, that's it in a nutshell. Second half is underway. West Bromwich Albion got us underway. They're attacking the Roker end this half in their sort of light yellow strip. Sunderland in their red and white stripes, of course. O'Nien on the ball here. They were West Brom forced to make a change in the first half when Madger was injured, and so Fellows has replaced him.
Light yellow. I'd call
Sunderland
it more
Patterson
green.
in goal, Huggins right back and Hume left back this afternoon. Ballard, O'Nien, Neil Nekwa, Roberts, Ashish, Clark and Job up front.
You know, we talk about Madger and we talk about Ballard, and in my day we used to call that's a welcome home card. You know, Ballard letting him know that he's in the game, welcome home.
Yeah.
And what happens? He goes off.
Yeah. Ankle injury as Hume, an arm in the back of Fellows. I'll let you know I'm here. And a free kick to West Bromwich Albion wide on the right inside their own half. West Brom, Palmer in goal. Back four, Furlong, Bartley, Kipre and Townsend. Midfield, Malumbi and Mowat. And then Diangana, Sarmiento, Swift and Fellows. Tom
he's got
Fellows.
a bit of everything, Ballard. You know, they'll struggle to hold on to him. Good player.
He is a good player. As the ball goes out wide on the left, Townsend up to Swift on halfway, just trying to flick it through to Sarmiento, and he gets it back. The Ecuadorian goes around Equa, plays it back behind him onto the halfway line, and Mowat twists away from Ashish, left side of the centre circle, still going now, trying to just slip it through to Sarmiento, but knocked away by O'Nien, then down to Huggins down the right wing, looking for Ashish, but Kipre steps across the front of him and gets it back, the Ivorian, to Alex Palmer, the goalkeeper, all in black, away to our left. Mike Dodds yelling instructions up towards Job, and the ball out to Kipre, back to Palmer, the goalkeeper, and Job and Ashish up front. Neil joins them as it's played out by Kipre from the left side of his penalty area, looking for Swift, who lays it off on the left-hand side to Townsend, and Townsend looking for the run now of Fellows down the left of the penalty area. Ballard's gone with him and gets a foot in, which takes it out for a throw for West Bromwich Albion on the far side, 10 yards from the corner flag.
Jacob.
Across comes Diangana. It goes back though to Alex Mowat. Down the left again to Diangana, and he's going to cut in, tries to, Equa blocks it. Roberts tries to get out. Sarmiento gets it back, and now he's trying to take it through. It bobbles off Equa. A challenge by Ballard. He comes out with it and gets the ball eventually to Clark.
I don't think it would go well in
fouled, surely, by
excellent play again by Ballard.
Diangana, free kick.
I'm so confused. Ballard on or off? He's definitely
strides
on.
out through it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Taking the free kick up
Not
to Job.
much difference from when Mowbray was, to be honest with you.
Hume on this left-hand side. Hume, and then inside to Ballard. Ballard just in front of the D, out to O'Nien on the right.
Leeds United are heavily breathing down Ipswich and Leicester's necks.
Roberts back to O'Nien into the middle to Ballard.
They're winning at the minute.
And then to Neil. This is still the Sunderland half wide to Clark. Clark now taking on Fellows. Coming back with it and playing it back to O'Nien, going right now to Huggins.
There's 81 on the channel. Just click the thumbs up, come and get 50 likes, and please hit the subscribe button. It helps me channel massively. Thank you.
Through the middle to Equa, back to Ballard.
I don't know.
And then out to Clark.
There's goals
on the left-hand side. Back again to
Definitely think
Ballard, and he will play it across to
not very strong at the moment.
O'Nien, out Roberts, looking for Ashish, just inside the West Bromwich Albion half, swung again across to the left.
Smell it.
Hume just inside the West Brom half, down the left to Clark. Clark on the touchline, trying to come back inside here now. With his right, swings it into the penalty area. Well, it missed Kipre completely over the head, but it's gone behind for a goal kick. Whether Kipre ducked out of that knowing it was clear going wide, but it is a goal kick.
It's interesting that Pritchard's warming up, and you just think maybe you need Pritchard to give that little bit of sparkle.
Yeah.
Stay down, Birmingham.
Need something different, don't we?
It's looking
Keith
like
Lupton says, I'll never be happy with a point playing at home in the Championship.
Palmer clearing again as they try to play out from the back, West Brom. Headed away by Ballard, drops for Hume. He's under pressure. Swift trying to get through. And now it's played out on the right-hand side. Roberts, was he caught? He was.
That should be a booking.
Sarmiento, it is a booking. He's going to get a yellow card. The Ecuadorian. And a message from Philip Scott, who's listening at home. He says, can you please make this game sound exciting? What should we do? Make it up? It is what it is, as the phrase goes. We can only go the pace of the game. We can only tell you what's happening. Here's Ekwa playing the ball back.
Yes, bringing Pritchard on. Why isn't he starting? Why isn't Pritchard starting? Answers on a postcard, please. I don't know.
Down that right wing to Huggins to try and slip it into Aushish. Aushish forced back to Ekwa, and Ekwa will play it back into the centre circle to Ballard. Ballard out wide on this left-hand side to Clark. Clark trying to get past Furlong. He's lost it. Furlong's got it to Fellows. Fellows now being chased by Clark, who nudges him in the back, but the referee thinks that's no foul. Ekwa swings the ball across on the right-hand side
like that,
to Roberts.
Like
Roberts
that.
Now trying to skip through. Now rolls the ball to Aushish down the right-hand side. Straight at the keeper as he tried to slip it in through to Job in the 6-yard box.
That's a great pass by Roberts. Great play. Reverse pass there.
Just needed that little bit more guile with the final ball, Aushish, to find Job.
Well, forget the Swedish manager. He'll be eating Sir Strumming.
Keeper drops the ball at his feet, passes it out to Bartley on this right-hand side, Carl Bartley, and he will.
Racial slur, though. Yeah, I do apologise for that.
Looking for a swift through the middle, and Nine heads it down away from him to Ballard. Ballard under pressure from Fellows, plays it back to Patterson.
Absolutely.
And Patterson now sweeps the ball up to the halfway line again. Connor Townsend heads it on. It'll be Ekwa, it drops to. He tries to find Roberts on the touchline. The ball just pushed out off Roberts for a West Bromwich Albion throw just inside the
Sir Strumming's
is
fermented heron, and it's supposed to stink massively.
Throw will be taken by Townsend. Just 10 yards inside the Sunderland half on the left as West Bromwich Albion kick towards the Roker end. He's taking his time, Townsend. Pritchard's being spoken to by Mike Dodd, so you're right, he'll be on shortly. And here is
the other one.
Huggins inside, then to Roberts. West Brom win it back. Sarmiento trying to cut in, and he does. He gets into the penalty area, twists and tries to do one too many turns, and it goes out for a corner. I think Roberts thought it was going out for a goal kick.
I'd like to see us get the manager before.
But it's a corner to
the
West Bromwich Albion. Who do you think will come off? Aushish?
Aushish, yes.
Sarmiento will take the corner. Sorry, Mowat will take the corner from the left. Sarmiento up in the 6-yard box with Fellows. It's swung in that area. Job heads it out. Malumbi at the back of the area leaves it for Swift. He plays it down the left again on that far side. It's rolled to Diangana to cross. And though Nyan trying to get his head on the end of it, it comes out here for Clark.
That's a yellow card, surely, God's sake.
Pulled right back by Malumbi. How has he not got a yellow card? He
No.
a yellow card.
He's taking one for the team.
He did. He just grabbed hold.
Ed Cullen, hello, how are you doing? Come on, son, we are still a good team. Of course we are.
Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 0 in the 12:30 Premier League kickoff.
Absolutely. Palace 1, Liverpool 0
here in the 55th minute. Live on BBC.
You're welcome, Ed. You're welcome on the channel anytime you want, mate. Anytime you want. Thanks for coming in.
Across to Ballard and Hume. Aushish, in fact, Hume ahead of him. Aushish looking for Job on the left wing. Job trying to get around Bartley, holding him off. Job twists inside, gets the ball in to Neil, who plays it down the left to Clark.
Come on, son, let's wake in this stadium a light up there.
Defender Fellows. And back into the middle, O'Nien down the right to Roberts. Roberts has got support, but he swings this in, and it's headed behind by Furlong for a corner.
Good ball in by Roberts.
Yeah, I know, that's mad. A lot of frustrated Liverpool fans because they can sniff the title this season. They could really do with not losing today. That's very frustrating.
Roberts remains at the back of the penalty area. Sheesh in the 6-yard box, Joe, but it's played back to Neil. Neil back down to Clark. Terrible ball in. Completely miskicked it, and it's hooked away by West Bromwich Albion up to the halfway line. Garner headed it away from Huggins, tugged his shirt a bit, Huggins. But in the end, Ekwa comes back through and whips the ball off Garner. And
yeah, Palassar one up, Angela.
Of safety to his own penalty area and out on the right to Hume. They've switched the fullbacks over here. Huggins is now on the left, Hume's on the right. And Patterson plays it out to Ballard. And Ballard bringing this down the left-hand side. Huggins here on the left wing. He up to the halfway line, looks for a gap, turns, plays it back behind to Clark. And Clark will play it back
That's
to
mostly
Luke
all
O'Neill,
Sunderland.
back of the centre circle. Out to Roberts, wide on that right-hand side, 57th minute. And Roberts head down, trying to drift into the middle, through here to Sheesh.
Oh no!
Clark! Oh, and a touch from the hand of the keeper. And behind for a corner.
No, it's not.
Sheesh was
Sheesh has just hit the post.
A great pass by
Still until I die from Worthing. Hello,
I thought
Kevin.
it took a touch off the hand of the keeper, but they've given a goal kick.
Even then, when he come back to Clark, you'd expect him to at least hit the target.
Yeah. I was convinced that took a touch off the keeper's hand.
Oh, unlucky. Thanks for the subscriber there. Thank you.
Well, they've taken the goal kick. Yeah, everybody around me thinks it was tip round.
When it's not going your way, it's not going your way, is it?
Goal kick has been given. So they've been denied a goal for offside, which was onside. They've questioned over a penalty. They've been denied by the woodwork. It's still 0-0. Sunderland 0, West Brom 0. Ballard's having a word with the assistant down here. Is anything going to go Sunderland's way?
See no finishes. Alan, that should have been buried in the back of the net.
Away from Swift.
That should have been, he should have hit the back of the net with that.
And out to Ekwa. Ekwa again to his left to Ballard.
That's full of ifs and buts, isn't it?
Hume is back on the left now. Huggins back on the right. Hume taps it back to Ekwa. Along the
full of ifs and buts, which isn't good enough. We need these chances to hit the back of the net.
He'll bring this
potentially we could have been 3-0 up at the minute, but we're not. It's 0-0.
To play it through O'Neill to Roberts. Roberts closed down by Sarmiento, slips it inside to Sheesh, then down the right again to Huggins, straight into Neil in the penalty area. Tried to turn on it, lost it for a second, recovers, and then taps it behind him to Sheesh. Sheesh now flicking it through to Neil, tries a back heel for Sheesh. But it's won back by West Bromwich Albion.
Afternoon, DJ. Hello, Tom. I bring good luck. I think we will score in the next 10 minutes. Also, Lee Carson
ahead of him, Malumbi. Here's Fellows on the right
side.
Not too bad. Tackled by Hume. Out to Clark. And Clark bringing this out with Carlos Corberan, going apoplectic on the edge of his technical areas. Clark carries on. Clark still going. Finds Roberts. Roberts trying to get this on his left. No. He plays it through, looking for Huggins, comes back out to looking for Hume, sorry. No, it was Huggins. And now here's Hume. But Garner wins it back in midfield. And now looking for Fellows. Ballard is chasing back. Fellows has got onto it first. They're shoulder to shoulder, and out comes Patterson and slides in to make the save.
For the first time we're hearing a noise at the stadium, like.
Out to Ekwa. Well, end to end suddenly. Bursts into life.
Yeah, the game's stretched now.
I can sniff a goal. I can sniff a goal from Sunderland. I really can now.
Huggins with Sheesh and Roberts. It's Sheesh.
No.
Huggins on the
well on top at the minute.
Back to Roberts, and little triangle on the far side, just inside the West Brom half. Back to Dan Neil, right at the centre circle. Now Ekwa, left of the centre circle, out to Clark on the left. And Clark
max of the 68% possession.
Joe, but it's cleared by Bartley. It's a throw to Sunderland. And West Brom are going to make a double switch here. It looks like Thomas Asante is going to come on for one.
Yeah.
And Malumbi's coming off for Chalabar. So a couple of changes. And it's Garner who's coming off for Thomas Asante. So the former England international, Chalabar, signed from Chelsea. And Brandon Thomas Asante, who was signed from Salford City. Has got 4 championship goals to his name this season. He comes on. We're in the 61st minute. It's 0-0. Ball out wide to Roberts. Roberts has got Huggins down the touchline. Here he is, and now Huggins back to Roberts. Roberts back again onto the halfway line to O'Nien through the gap for Ekwa. He's under pressure from Swift, but he gets it through to Ashish.
Good play by Sunderland.
Ashish now curling a ball into the penalty area, looking for Job. Drops over him. Looked like he was pushed in the back. It's dropped for Clark. Clark now trying to get to the goal line, and he's forced over the line with the ball by Furlong, who falls over the advertising board.
Right over the advertising board. He's disappeared.
And now he's being helped up and helped back over the advertising. He's leaning on the board now. He's winded, I think, as a result of that. Climbs back over, and a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. Here's the substitution.
He has done it.
He's coming on for Pritchard.
The momentum took himself over. Absolutely.
He's not happy, is he, Ashish?
No. I think, from what we're told, Ashish is a little bit like Alex Pritchard. He's a spiky character, says what he thinks, and hugs Pritchard. Mike Dodds puts an arm round Ashish's shoulder. Pritchard comes on, pat across the chest from Mike Proctor. Goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. 0-0 in the 62nd minute. Ballard heads it away. It's out for a throw to Sunderland on the left-hand side. Clark goes to recover the ball. He'll take the throw from some 10 feet from the touchline back to Ballard. Ballard back to Patterson. Patterson, Thomas Asante is lurking in front of him, but he plays the ball out down that right-hand side. And so it's one back. Swift trying to slip it through.
Offside,
I think he's offside. Thomas Asante, he is.
On goal, please, says Sat.
Cheers.
Mayandani
for getting that one right. Free kick has been taken. O'Nien has it on the right side of the Sunderland penalty area, inside to Ekwa. Ekwa will bring this.
It's a sweet smell.
Out.
It's like nice laundry drying in the summer evening in the back garden.
Neil out wide, then to Hume. Hume looking for Clark. Furlong got it just in front of him. And then a flick by Neil, but Furlong gets it back again, finds Swift in the centre circle.
Daytona Fire officials should be disciplined after this horror show from them. Not good enough for a professional footballer. I do agree.
On his shoulder, he will lift
that linesman should be demoted. It's absolutely shocking.
But O'Nien will get the first, plays it back to Patterson. And Patterson plays the ball away from Mowat, who chased it, or Townsend, who chased on after it. And then Furlong goes heavily into Clark. Free kick to Sunderland on the touchline. In their own half, Clark picks himself up.
Well, how many times do you see players getting penalised for being harsh towards the referee when the players are in the wrong? Mandy Gray says Pritchard to score a free kick winner.
For a moment. Neil drops back. Here's Dan Neil. Plays it inside to Dan Ballard. Ballard ahead of him is Ekwa. Back to Ballard. Ballard then across to Neil on this left-hand side. Neil up over the halfway line. Plays it down the line to Hume. Inside to Clark. Immediately closed down by Mowat. Gets the ball back to Ballard.
Rather have Ken Dodd in charge.
Through to Roberts, back to O'Nien, then to Ekwa in the centre circle.
Hello, Graham, mate. How are you doing, fella?
Through, straight to the feet.
Happening. So far, it's not happening on the pitch. It's still 0-0.
Hume has to cut back, gets a foot to it, which takes it all the way back to Patterson. And Hume, honestly, he does not take any prisoners. He absolutely loves it. O'Nien out to Huggins on the right wing, cutting inside now. Huggins now head down. He's having a run here through. Now slips the ball through to Pritchard on the right hand side. Pritchard trying to come in round Townsend. He's got Roberts on the overlap. Looks for the cross here for Job. Tipped away down to Clark by the keeper. And
Clark, man.
Puts it round the post. Puts his shirt up over his head.
Look at Roberts.
And Roberts is standing on the 6-yard line with his head in his hands. at another opportunity goes begging.
Clark is just getting a bit too ball greedy at the minute.
Absolutely.
That's when you need a little bit of composure, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
0-0
Clark had only squared that to Roberts. Goal at his mercy. Clark holds his hands and his head up to say, sorry, didn't see you there.
Down. Play goes on, and then Bartley's shoulder barges Clark off the ball. Furlong flicks it inside straight to Neil. Neil back here now to Ballard on the halfway line, and Ballard plays it into the centre circle to O'Nien, and O'Nien out wide here, and it's left by Roberts for Huggins. Huggins back to Roberts, just behind him, third of the way inside the West Bromwich half, back onto the halfway line, O'Nien, then to Ballard in the centre circle, and then forwards to Equa. Equa here to
Goodness
Neil.
knows.
Neil
I can't
bringing
see.
this down the
It
left,
is repetitively bad
central
finishing.
midfield, out to Hume on the left touchline. He will play it back
How are
behind
you,
him to
Doug B? How are you
Clark.
doing?
Clark, 15 feet infield, plays it back to Ballard at the front of the centre circle. He leaves it square to O'Nien, and he looks now for Huggins on that right
nothing.
wing. He miscontrolled it, and it's gone out for a throw to West Bromwich Albion. 67th minute, quarter of the game left. Sunderland 0, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Would you see Burstow or Mayenda coming on?
Interesting, isn't it?
For Joe Bellingham?
Bearing in mind there's a game on Tuesday night as well against Leeds, or do you just let Joe play it through, change it on Tuesday? It's interesting. I wonder what's going through the minds of Mike Dodds, Mike Proctor.
So let's say the next 6 months is pretty ordinary.
On.
At what point do they sack Speakman?
If you want to win the game,
They never get the blame, do they?
Neil back to O'Nien on the right hand side, bringing this up to halfway, laying it off to Roberts, and he will play it back to Equa. Equa here to Ballard, out wide to Clark on the left hand side, taking Fellows on down the left, checking back now, looking up, trying to take it on to first his right, then his left. He's down the left of the penalty area, he's trying to find a way through, and he's found Neil. He's closed down quickly by Bartley. Equa trying to step in. Here it breaks loose again, but it's Kipre who digs it out to the right, onto the head of Fellows, who knew not a lot about it. Hume brings it down for Pritchard. Back to Clark. Clark taking on the Chalabar on the left of the penalty area, managing to swing it across to the far side.
We're all over them.
Roberts back to Job, who's fouled on that far side and wins the free kick just in from touch. Is this another card coming out? I think it might be a spray rather than a card that the referee's just pulled out for the free kick, which is positioned about a yard from touch on the right.
Speakman needs to go. If he doesn't book his IDs up for him,
flag. Opportunity beckons here for Sunderland, 0-0.
Kind of keep using managers and coaches as scapegoats.
Ballard's up, O'Nien's up, Job's in there, Hume at the back of the box. Neil, Clark, Equa out in the middle, Huggins, the man stationed just in front of the centre circle. Pritchard or Roberts? Left for Pritchard to take this, swings it in with his right foot, and a near header! Ballard has scored! Dan Ballard! Head on the end of it to glance it in past Palmer.
Get in!
And Sunderland take the lead in the 69th minute.
Excellent.
Watch the screen, watch the screen.
It's the quality of the ball in, Nick. You know, great pace. All Ballard's got to just get his head on it, just flick it, and the pace of the ball's taking it past the goalkeeper.
Nice finish from Ballard.
Yeah.
Got it absolutely right. Just a twist
Lovely
of
header.
the head to glance it in at the near post.
The radio's on, Graham, just for the commentary fella.
Pritchard.
Commentary for the
And
football.
it's Sunderland who take the lead with 20 minutes to play.
Get in.
So,
is there still 1-0 at your end, Dov?
He'd not extend it.
Indeed. But
Dan
again,
Ballard
Nick, you know what
scored.
they're gonna
Told
say.
you I'd bring good luck. Tom Wallace. Yes, go Sunderland.
It's not a striker, no. Still looking for a striker to score a goal. But, and technically, we haven't got one on the pitch. But Sunderland breakthrough. 1-0 they lead.
Deservedly so as well.
They found a way to score again without a striker on the pitch. Here's Fellows on the right for West Bromwich Albion, who now are under pressure to attack themselves, perhaps leave the back door open. Comes back to Palmer, he kicks clear out wide on the left-hand side. Played back by Townsend to Kipre, into the keeper again to hook away over on the left-hand side and headed on and out by Townsend for a throw to Sunderland. Blackburn 0, Leeds 2, and the other Championship 12:30 kick-off. And the atmosphere builds again here. Here's O'Nien into the middle to Ballard. Down the left.
Leeds have gone 2-0 apparently.
Back again to Ballard, across to, well, back to the keeper. I think O'Nien was ushering him to do that as well. Patterson kicks down the right, looking for Huggins. And Townsend
don't
went
sit
up with
back,
him
lads, don't sit back.
To Sunderland. Pritchard will leave for Niall Huggins to take on that far side, a matter of yards inside.
If you're happy with that goal, click the like button, chaps, on the channel.
Ballard notches up his 3rd goal of the season. Probably should have had his 3rd at Millwall last week, 6 yards out, but he took that one with some aplomb.
Yeah, it just catches up, Mike. Just give it a time, it just catches up. I've got it on so it doesn't come on too soon to spoil any goals for any of the viewers.
Surely he's pulled down by Chalabar. The referee agrees. And
but they will change, Mike. They will change.
AU's been sent off for Crystal Palace in their game against Liverpool in the Premier League. Ball played across by Neil to O'Nien, then down that touchline to Roberts, just in the West Bromwich Albion half. He's got Sarmiento and Townsend on his case, but he's still going, and in the end it's just flicked out by Townsend for a throw. 73rd minute. Huggins will take the throw. Pritchard and Roberts across there. It drops to Pritchard. Pritchard under pressure from Townsend on the touchline. The ball goes out. Throw to West Bromwich Albion. Down the line, it's flung over O'Nien. He just got a touch to it with his head back to Ballard on the halfway line. And it's now Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 1. Hume back to Ballard. Turns it away from Swift. John Swift back to Patterson. Patterson just flicking the ball forward with his instep, and now to Ekwa. Slightly dangerous with Sarmiento on his shoulder, but it comes back to Patterson to clear. Nodded forwards by Kipre, looking for Sarmiento, but won back by Sunderland. And Huggins has it. Pritchard's on his shoulder, and he's looking to try and get it down the line for Pritchard, and he's shoved in the back by Kipre, and it's a throw, or it's a free kick?
Free kick.
To Sunderland.
You reckon another substitution? Gordon.
And Pippa. And Ajayi are coming on. Pippa was a Spaniard on loan from Ludogorets in Bulgaria. So another switch, it'll be the last switch that Carlos Corbrand's able to make. Ajayi's obviously coming on to stiffen their defence.
Is this Gordon coming on now?
Gordon?
No, sorry.
Pippa.
I thought it was Gordon. He's got number 26 on, hasn't he?
Yeah, Pippa. As the ball floats into the hands of the goalkeeper. What's the team sheet say?
I've got Gordon on mine.
Gonzalo Avila Gordon, yes, because that's his full name. He's known as Pippa.
Okay. I'm just going off the team sheet.
Yeah, the team sheet's written in down. I don't know why, because he's known as is actually known as Pippa. Everybody calls him Pippa, and it's Swift that's coming off to be replaced by him, and the other is Bartley's coming off for Ajayi. So we're in the 75th minute, 15 minutes to play. Sunderland leading 1-0, and Ajayi just slips back into the centre of defence alongside Kipre, and here is Chalabar back to Furlong, down the line to Fellows. That looked like it went out, but flag stays down. Chalabar now swinging the ball over to that left-hand side, and picked up and played in by Pippa, looking for Sarmiento. Comes out then to Mowat, Chalabar, and now Furlong out wide to Fellows. Fellows with Clark in front of him, trying to get round Clark, swings the ball in. That's surely gone out, and it's headed away behind, and it's a corner, says the referee. It looked to me like the ball had swung out, but the flag stayed down. But Darren Bonds pointed to a West Brom corner. Need to be sharp and attentive here, Sunderland. Mowat's gone across to take it. And there are plenty of West Brom bodies in the box. Swung in with the left foot of Mowat, looking for Chalabar. Job got his head to it, comes back out to Mowat on the left-hand side, puts the ball back in, it comes off Pritchard. Corner. It caught him hard actually on the face, I think, and there's another corner to West Bromwich Albion. Pritchard's still down. I mean, he was felled like a tree then. He just sort of, ball smashed into him, changed direction completely and went out, and Pritchard's still flat out on his back here. Referees calling for treatment, calling for help. Pritchard's sitting up at least as Mowat waits in the corner to take the corner for West Bromwich Albion. They're in the 77th minute, but there'll be time obviously added on for this stoppage.
Big Bar's going to come on, isn't he? Now the looks of it.
You think he will? Yeah. Do you think he'll come on for Roberts? That seems to be the usual.
It's either Roberts or, I would say, Bellingham. It'll be Bellingham.
Pritchard still getting treatment. He's getting to his feet on the far side. A reminder, no Rochdale Gateshead now this afternoon. That's been called off in the trophy. Pritchard's up on his feet, strolling to the touchline on the far side. We'll have Simon Logan.
Yeah, I don't know why the scores aren't updating. There must be a problem with that site. I'll have a look at it later on.
Yeah.
You should be able to refresh it, but I don't know how.
Simon will be spinning those discs. Here's Mowat from the left-hand side, swings in the corner. No Pritchard on the pitch yet, but it's headed away by Ballard. Out to Townsend in midfield, who'll play it, rework it down that left-hand side.
What's the score? Are you winning, Darv?
Picked up and swung in towards Sarmiento, who got a touch from it, sort of volley. He's trying to claim it's a corner, as is Kipre. They've probably got a case because the referee seems to be getting it wrong every time. But it's a goal kick to Sunderland. Even Dan Neil is arguing with the referee about something.
Mayenda coming on, is it? Mayenda?
It is Mayenda coming on, yeah. Yeah, but it's Mayenda.
I would imagine he'll come on for Job.
Pritchard still waiting to come back on, running down the touchline on the far side to the halfway line, having a word with the
saying he's got to come on that halfway line.
Is that what the... Pritchard's getting frustrated, he's finally allowed back on. The ball kicked out by Patterson down the left here, but knocked away by Furlong. Comes back here towards Job, headed away by Ajayi. Down for Neil. Neil looking for the run of Huggins. Great ball to him. Pippa's in front of him. But Huggins is trying to take him one way, then the other, and slips it inside to Ekwa. Back out to Pritchard on the right touchline. Behind him is Huggins. Huggins back to O'Nien, just inside his own half. Just over 10 minutes to play, plus whatever time is added on. And here's Ballard out to Hume on this left-hand side, back to Patterson, and Patterson kicks first time up over the halfway line. Townsend heads it away back onto the head of Huggins, then Ekwa inside of him. Little ball turned away by Roberts to Huggins, back to Roberts. Roberts making the run, but Kipre flattens him as he clears the ball, and Roberts is flat out. Ball is still in play. No, it's not now because the referee's halted it. Kipre picks the ball up and chases back, arguing with the referee, and not very happy with Roberts, and shown a yellow card as a consequence of what the referee will deem dissent. So Roberts is coming off as it happens, and Meyenda's coming on. So Roberts goes straight off over on the far side.
And there we go. You've got the scores are updated now on the left. It's all
Standing
sorted.
ovation for Roberts. On comes Elisa Meyenda.
Is there any new people in the channel? If you hit the subscribe button, thank you.
Neil has a word back.
Can we get to 50 likes? 10 minutes to go.
And here's the drop ball back to Kipre, then to Townsend, back to Cedric Kipre, across here to Semi Ajayi, and then to Furlong. Furlong looking for the run of Fellows. Back comes Hume to get in front of him, and we'll just hold it off. Fellows, gets in front, gets a touch to it, gets it off the touchline, plays it in, but Hume slides in, gets the ball away. Mowat gives it away then to Ekwa. Comes back up onto the halfway line, Furlong. Back to Clark, trying to head it forwards, and Chalabar now on this right-hand side.
Thanks, Mandy. Thank you very much indeed.
Furlong, who puts it out. Throw to Sunderland on the left. Roberts being applauded as he comes round here.
I find it very, very strange that they've kept Job on. Meyenda's gone on. We've got no out-and-out right-hand side.
Come on, I'll just get another goal. I think Pritchard might want out. Jan,
you just thought that it would have
Conrad Tank, Pritchard on for a few minutes and then assisted the goal. He deserves more minutes. I definitely do agree with that
on
one.
the right-hand side.
Tom Wallace says this does not make Dodds anything special in mind. They're doing this for Tony Mowbray. I think we'll come again.
Here's Meyenda making a break on this left-hand side into the penalty area. He rides one challenge, tries to ride a second, but then fouls Chalabar in trying to do that.
Well, thank you very much, Derek. It's very, very kind of you.
Sunderland still lead.
Just subscribe to Monday. Ed Collins.
Right.
Yes, Tom, the issue with this performance is for Tony. This will be a big win, this says Ed. West Brom will be in and about the top 6 come end of season. So should we as well. Conrad Tank says that could be the case. He's too old for Speakman and KLD's used planners.
We've got no
Leeds are looking better now they've found their feet. I know.
It's played to Pippa, who switched it through to Sarmiento, then down the left again of the penalty area. The cross headed out by O'Nien. Sarmiento tries a shot, took a deflection.
You've got to get that. You've got to get that right-hand side for us or left-hand side for them. Somebody's got to play out there.
Corner to West Bromwich Albion. Sarmiento goes over for the possible short corner from Alex Mowat, and closed down by Pritchard and Meyenda, step back a little to the edge of the penalty area. It'll be swung in here, in towards, well, it's Hume who's trying to clear it, and eventually it's Ekwa who puts his foot through it. Bounces down here for Townsend, who slips, and it could let Pritchard in. Pritchard's now trying to make the break, slips it through. Dan Neal's onside. Dan Neal into the penalty area, dinks the keeper.
Get in! Get in!
Dan Neal doubles the lead. Townsend slip.
Get in!
He found Dan Neal, and
Get
Dan
in!
Neal makes it Sunderland 2, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Great finish by Dan Neal. That's what it's called. Composed.
Goal scorer Dan Neal!
And again, Pritchard, very, very clever, involved.
Pritchard has been the game changer. Bring him on.
In the 85th minute now, Dan Ballard, Dan Neal, 2-0.
Well.
Should tie things up in terms of the points.
One of our own, Dan Neal. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. Dan Neal. He's one of our own. Lovely little dink.
It could well be come now. National Dan Day. Indeed, very good. So, on National Dan Day, it's Dan Ballard, Dan Neal, and Sunderland lead 2-0. Intelligent finished as well from Dan Neal, chipping the keeper. We're in the 86th minute, and that makes things a little bit more comfortable as we head towards the...
Oh, get in there!
Whistle. There'll be a fair amount of added time, I suspect, that Sunderland, with no right-sided player, have doubled their lead.
Dodds for manager, eh?
His fourth
oh my God!
Goal of the season. Through the middle, here comes Kipre. Leaves it behind him for Chalabar, who sweeps it to Townsend. Townsend down the left to Pippa, who's trying to get the ball in the box. It does. Asante scores.
Oh, West Brom have scored
Thomas
straight
Asante
away.
Gets up, heads the ball down to the bottom right.
Oh my God!
Simple, is it for Sunderland?
No.
Oh dear, dear, dear.
Now West Bromwich are going to set up a finish here because they'll be conscious that there's now just the one goal back in it.
Oh dear, 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 dear.
Thomas Asante 6 yards out.
Smash the like button for the win. Where let's go, the Dam Busters.
Bottom right corner. Sunderland 2, West Bromwich Albion 1.
We're going to get overrun on that left-hand side, Nick. I'm telling you now.
Going to be all West Brom now. How quick things can change.
So, what can Sunderland do here? They've got to concentrate because West Brom's tails are up now, having got that goal back. Looking for the ball threaded through for, well, Fellows or Thomas Asante, but it's well.
You see the players there arguing there. That's what they're talking about.
Dan Neal's having an argument with Mike.
You cannot relax watching this team. Absolutely not. That shut us all up. Absolutely.
Right. You know, they put Mayenda out there. He's gone and played out wide right.
Yeah, Mayenda's
fantastic
gone wide.
Comes off. Fantastic if it comes off. But you got to remember, you got Bellingham on there. You've got Pritchard in there, who both
very, very quiet stadium like now. They're very on edge.
Striker.
88th minute.
I think getting equaliser would feel like a proper defeat. Like it really, really would. Oh my God.
It's Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2. Here's Kipre. He's bringing it on. Job's giving chase through to Sarmiento.
Come on, Sunderland.
Lost the ball here.
Switch
to
on
Job.
here, eh?
Job in the centre circle. He tried to pass it across, and Chalabar cuts it out. I think you're right.
It's Sunderland. We are used to this.
Job in the middle.
You've got to take him off.
So here comes West Bromwich Albion again. Pippa tries to play the ball to Chalabar, trying to get the ball through. Tackled by Clark, who's hurt.
Free kick.
He's won the free kick, Clark.
I can.
Bear in mind, there's a game Tuesday night as well. Come thick and fast.
Oh, good effort, Dav. Good effort.
Huggins slowly strolling over to the far side to recover the ball. Referee standing on the shoulder of Dan Ballard will take the free kick.
Right, there's going to be about 4 minutes added on, 3 minutes. I don't think there'll be many added on this half.
Ballard then.
Oh, a 2-goal lead must have lasted.
Tries to drive this and does do
Just a
down the
matter of
left wing
seconds,
towards Job. Ajayi gets ahead of him, gets above him. Dan Neal heads it on. It comes back to Alex Palmer. And he will roll this out to Furlong on the right-hand side. Fellows is making a break down this right-hand side. Hume's got his eye on it, heads it away. Back to Jack Clark ahead of him. And Clark with Thomas Asante on his shoulder. And then Mowat on his shoulder as well. It comes back here for Hume to deal with, who just twists away round Fellows. The ball didn't go fully over the line. And the ball swept up towards Job. Ajayi will come across here. Job trying to get round him. But Ajayi's holding him off and turns it out straight to Pritchard. Pritchard down the left now, almost into the corner, slips but picks himself up, and the ball is just kicked out for a Sunderland throw.
Pritchard needs to get more game time. Like, I don't care what anybody says.
They'll take their time here, Sunderland.
Oh,
we're in the 90th minute.
Asante, is it?
It's a booking for
Asante.
Thomas Asante.
Pritchard by a mile.
Clocked up the yellow cards, West Brom this afternoon. Clark's going to take this throw. How much time? have we to play? We've got 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
And it's Sunderland 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Here's Mayenda. The ball bounces out for a corner off for Ajayi. Sunderland's 4th corner. Job leaves it for Clark. Job does look very tired.
Sorry?
Job does look very tired.
He is very tired.
Clark taps it to Job. Job leaves it here for Clark to hold in the corner. Referee
offside.
Blows offside. Free kick to West Bromwich Albion. They, understandably, in a hurry because they are 1 goal from a point. Sunderland need to defend because it's West Brom on the attack again. Kipre at the back.
This is where Sunderland need to show character.
In their own half still, but Fellows is making a run again. Hume's aware of him. It drops over Fellows and out for a throw to Sunderland on the left here. Carlos Corberan out again. Colourful character.
We haven't actually got any width, Nick. You know, if we wanted an outlet here, look where we are.
Yeah, narrow down this.
You know where Roberts usually hugs the line, or bars out there where you can switch to play. We haven't got that.
Swept up by Kipre, bounces through though to Patterson. Just outside the left of his 6-yard box, picks the ball up in front of Thomas Asante. We've played nearly 2 minutes of the 6. Sunderland leading 2-1. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Newcastle, there'll be no Rochdale Gateshead this afternoon. That's been called off, but Simon Logan will be here at 3 o'clock. As the ball comes back up towards Neil to head on, looking for Job, who tired leap. It's come back to Ekwa, who heads it across to the left. It'll bounce for Furlong in front. Oh, and Furlong's caught Pritchard in the face. His elbow up, caught Pritchard in the face. Now, hard to say whether that was intentional or accidental, but clearly Pritchard was caught.
He's gone to shield the ball.
There's a card coming out here. I think that's what he probably was trying to do. And Furlong's gone straight down to
going to get booked.
Apologise. He's going to get booked.
Furlong.
And I think Pritchard's accepted that it was he's I think almost trying to say to the referee, you know, don't send him off there. I might be wrong, but I think Furlong immediately is, you know, realised. But he is booked. Leeds have beaten Blackburn 2-1. They're the visitors, of course, on Tuesday night. Free kick to Sunderland here, wide on the left. 2-0 to Leeds against Blackburn. There we go. As I say, they're the visitors on Tuesday night. The ball's just swept away and out. Clark won't be too bothered about that. And Ajayi quickly to get the ball, and Kipre, yeah, no, it was Ajayi, quickly to get the ball and throw it to Palmer to take the quick kick to Kipre, who will bring this out. 94th minute now, 2-1 Sunderland lead. Ajayi here on the corner of his own penalty area, drives it straight up to Hume. Fellows in front of him, he gets it to Clark on the left. Clark now trying to dribble at Furlong, but Furlong wins it. Chalabar bringing this out, leaves it inside for Mowat. Mowat now looking to get it across to Kipre. It's still in the West Brom half. Ekwa trying to get the ball off of Kipre. Comes back through to Hume.
There's no outlet.
And Hume back to O'Nien, is looking for Mayenda. Townsend heads it away down the left. Huggins on the shoulder of Pippa. Comes back to Ekwa. They're on the halfway line to Job, who pushes it back to Neil in the centre circle. Out to Pritchard on this left-hand side. Pritchard back to Clark. 95th minute. Clark back to Hume. And Hume nearly pulled back by Thomas Asante then. And forwards to Neil. And he gets it back from Pritchard. Neil down the left wing.
Come on, Sunderland. They're doing well here. They're doing well here.
Just pushes the ball out into touch for a Sunderland throw. Clark, too, looks fairly tired. Jogging down the touchline.
Can Sunderland hang on? There's a minute to go. Can they hang on?
Sunderland.
West Brom have made it a very, very nervy
with just over a
end to the game.
Clark tried to find Mayenda at the edge of the area. It was cleared by West Brom. Hume putting it back up towards Mienda. Townsend heads it in the air, then does Kipre the same. It's headed on by Huggins to Mienda. He's trying to get the ball through, but 3 West Brom players around him, and Townsend gets it to Sarmiento. Now to Pippa. And Pippa has played it inside to Mowat, who's looking for the run down the left to Sarmiento. May have hit it too firmly. Sarmiento chases down towards the corner, trying to cut in now. Goes down in the penalty area. No penalty, says the referee. Ballard pushed him over. The ball comes out with Ballard, and he's pushed over. It's a free kick on the touchline to Sunderland.
Have Sunderland got this in the bag?
Probably 20 seconds or so left. And Sunderland now, surely, have seen this out. Ballard just lying on his back.
I don't know. It's 4-9 again, man.
Pulled up. He's clearly heavy. Huggins struggling then to get Ballard up to his feet, but he has.
He's a big lad, isn't he?
He is.
But
this could be a huge win for Sunderland
this afternoon, Nick. You know, you learn a lot from the game, and you learn a lot. Again, it'll be interesting to see what we do on Tuesday.
I know. 6 minutes added on.
Well, that is the 6 minutes. We're into the 7th minute here as Mienda chases down into the right corner, and Townsend's on his case.
The Sunderland have done just superbly. Like they've kept hold of the ball.
Just about it, I suspect. As soon as the throw's taken,
they've kept hold of the ball. They've not let West Brom anywhere near it.
Huggins comes down to take the throw. Plenty of whistles from the crowd. Darren Bond just watching on, waited for Huggins to take this throw,
and there goes the full-time whistle. Get in! Click that subscribe button if you're happy with that win, and the like button.
In charge.
Get in.
As interim coach, 2-1, 2-0 up, but immediately the response from West Brom was to pull a goal back, but Sunderland saw it out. The two Dans, Dan Ballard, Dan Neil with the goals. Overall, what were your thoughts? They could have been one up in the first half.
Yeah, they were a bit unlucky, as you said. You know, goal disallowed, a bit the woodwork. Has anything changed? I think, you know, obviously Tony Mowbray's put his stamp on the team, the way they want to play.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you, thank God for
Roberts was bright today, Clark was bright today, but still, you know what we're missing? We're missing that striker.
Missing someone up there.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mandy, for tuning in.
Whoever comes in as a coach has got to solve, or you've got the players, they've got to develop and learn quickly.
Indeed. Overall, though, they certainly put in a shift for Mike Dodds. I don't think there's any question about that. They put a lot of effort into this. 2 well-taken goals, a glancing header from Dan Ballard, and then the lovely finish from Dan
West
Neil,
Brom
just
didn't
chipping
really
the ball over the
offer anything
keeper.
at all. I mean, Pritchard
Townsend slipped on the halfway
things.
line. Pritchard took advantage and threaded the ball
Why
through
he's not on
to
from the start, I do not know.
Dan Neil, who made the run at the keeper, who'd come out to close him down.
You're welcome, Gordon. Thank you, everyone.
It was a great finish, But again, you know, Pritchard, he's played his part when he's come on. Alex Pritchard, love him or hate him.
In case anybody,
you know, he's a good player.
You're welcome, Keith. Thanks. Forget what a win feels like.
And we've called upon him.
Drink it in now,
especially in the second half when we need that little bit of sparkle, something different, and that's what he brings to the table. You know, it was his free kick which created that goal for Ballard to it was his pass. Again,
good day for both of us, staff.
Great finish by Dan Neil.
Give the team great confidence to go into the game on Tuesday night, home here against Leeds United. We'll have that, of course, on BBC Radio Newcastle. As happy, smiles all around.
That was a lovely goal by Dan Neil.
Job is one of the last. Ekwa and O'Nien across on the far side. As Mienda now applauds the fans leaving the Roker
What
end.
a start to my day. You're welcome, Angela.
Huggins, a big overcoat on the far side, applauds, or Ashish applauds the fans as well as the players head off down the tunnel. So match 1 for the interim coach, and the match won by the interim coach. Sunderland 2, West Bromwich Albion 1.
Feeling Christmassy yet? On BBC iPlayer.
It's Christmas!
With ghosts,
Christmas. We need to work out what puts you in the Christmas mood.
It was always the smell of the mulled wine.
Bad education.
They call me the ghost of Christmas past.
Oh, I think the kids are just being unkind.
Gossip girl.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. XOXO.
Find your festive.
It's a Christmas.
Yes, Ed, we are 6 at the minute. I know there's a few teams got a player today, but it's still a cracking win that against a very in form West Brom as well. Absolutely, you're welcome, Ian, mate. You're welcome, fella. Thank you.